And here it is, we go again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is, we go again. Unbelievably, we are having two sessions today. Now, it wasn't my anticipation that we will have two sessions today, but nevertheless, these things, they're in the lap of the gods. So the gods deem it so that two sessions will happen today. So praise thee, one man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyomadika, yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Kano, it's another Savior. Gonna sing along, holy, 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 Kano, it's another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 it's another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 it's another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right, moving faster. Yeah, for freedom. It's another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyomadika, yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there it is right there, the Holy Holy song from the eastern part of Nigeria. So the Holy Holy song from the Igbo people, the Igbo people. So that's their song, the Holy Holy song. So Holy Holy, as guys, I bring you this PDP crisis. Finally, Atiku takes crucial decision over call for Ayu's resignation. So a crucial decision, an ambiguous term. So what does that mean? We don't necessarily know because the headline does not give you an indication as to where the direction of travel is. But the one thing it does is to intrigue. The headline does intrigue. PDP crisis, finally Atiku takes crucial decision over call for Ayu's resignation. So quite what that decision is, I will find out shortly. Powerful northern governor drops bombshell, reveals saboteurs in Buhari's government. I'd have thought that the entirety of the Buhari administration are saboteurs. They've certainly sabotaged the Nigerian state, but it looks as though now this guy wants to attach a name to that presumption. Powerful northern governor drops bombshell, reveals saboteur in Buhari's government. So quite who that is and why he has arrived at that conclusion, we'll find out shortly. Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria, promises free, fair elections. So there it is right there. They've borrowed heavily, stolen the entirety, and now they're asking their creditors to forgive it. But then, of course, this seems to be the cycle that Africa loops through. It may well be some sort of money laundering thing because this is not the first instance that you have this sort of administration that borrows heavily, loots the entirety of what they have borrowed, and then goes to their creditor to ask them to forgive the debt. And curiously, often instances the debtors they forgive the debt. But now this instance they are borrowing from China. So quite how the Chinese take a stance, well, we find out shortly. Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria, promises free and fair election. So quite how he's able to deliver that, we find out shortly. Buhari to United Nations, developing countries need debt cancellation. So it looks as though he sweeps up more than Nigeria in that space. So from that to this, and still staying with Buhari, but a different headline this time around. Social media influencers now more powerful than global policy makers. So this is the Aboki from Daura now, pretending as though he knows what is going on in the world around him, a man that is the epitome of confusion itself. So confused from Daura, he speaks he speaks on the United Nations platform. Social media influencers now more powerful than global policymakers, a headline attributed to the Nyamari called Buhari. So there it is right there. So there it is, a mixed bag. So this is going to be a fairly short session. I don't anticipate that it's going to last for more than no longer than 3 hours. So a 2-3 hour session, no more than that. So, but nevertheless, lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, click on the like button as you're coming in. Click on subscribe if you have not subscribed as well. And we're pushing really hard to bring up our numbers. We need an immediate 4,000 followers on our Facebook. So you can see then why we're pushing aggressively then to up the numbers on Facebook. So if you're not already subscribed to the platform on Facebook, then please do that immediately and right now. So everybody has a Facebook page, so there's no reason absolutely categorically why you should not be subscribed on Facebook. So go do that immediately and right now. And if you're viewing on Facebook, make sure you've clicked on the follow button because that really is what we need you doing. So click on follow if you're listening on Facebook already. So do all that. And then, of course, if you want to come join me on the screen, you know the protocol. You click on this hyperlink that says StreamYard. So I'll put it in the comment section again, and then I'll highlight it on the screen so that it is immediate to your attention. So there it is, immediate to your attention. So if you want to come join me live on the screen, click on that hyperlink that says StreamYard. That is an open microphone session. That is an open microphone, rather, that brings you onto the platform. So click on that hyperlink that says StreamYard if you want to come and take on any of the talking points that are up for discussion. So plenty of clickings to do. So All right. So there's just one more headline that I just saw now that I want to bring you because this is a storyline that we have been tracking. So actually, maybe I'll bring you two more headlines just just to fulfill all yes, just to fulfill all righteousness. So just two more storylines. So this one, Nigeria High Court set aside consent judgment for $47 million Paris Club refund payment for Panic Alert Limited. So this is a space that we have been monitoring. And a lot of you will, of course, know that this is the $500 million that Abubakar Malami is looking to steal as his a retirement package from the Nigerian state as he leaves office. And it is this deal really that made him abandon his ambition to park his immunity in the Kebbi State House. You remember he was going to run for the Kebbi State House as the governor of that state, but because he had to resign his portfolio as the Minister of Law or whatever, and of course he has this deal which is running with Ned Nwoko, which is just in the region of $500 million. So he had to weigh that balance. And he abandoned that ambition then to pursue the Kebbi State House to park his immunity there, hoping instead that by marrying Buhari's daughter that has been abandoned after 4 kids, so he's gonna marry Buhari's daughter, and then he wanted to pad his immunity out with this $500 million deal as well. But it looks as though that is starting to falter. So this is a storyline that we have been tracking, and I'm bringing it now, the latest installment in the space. Nigerian High Court sets aside consent judgment for $47 million Paris Club refund payment for Panic Alert Limited. So that's 47 million, not 47 billion. So there it is. So there it is. And then we want to land on this one. This is something that just happened. It's just the impunity now and the changes going on within the Nigerian space with new introductions into Nigeria. Not just the Fulanis are the new introductions, but there's a plentiful of Arab mix introduced heavily into the north, and not the usual what are they called? The usual Koras, not the usual Lebanese that we're used to, but there's a heavy infiltration of Arabs into the Nigerian space. And the people that supersedes them in infiltrating the Nigerian space are the Chinese. So they've brought. So they've brought a mannerism that is peculiar to themselves, but perhaps strange to the Nigerian space. I talk too much. Let me give you the headline. Then you see where I'm going to with this. Federal lawmakers investigate immigration status of Chinese man who killed Nigerian girlfriend, suspends his employer's operations. So there it is right there. So when you think about all of these people coming into our society, of course, they don't come into the society and live in a silo. So they don't live in a silo. They live amongst us. They interact amongst us. And in that interaction, they interblend amongst us. And it is in that interblending that this disaster has emerged. So there it is. A rich and diverse mix, as is always the case. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. Click on the like button as you're coming in. Click on subscribe if you haven't done that already. Click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard if you want to come join me on the studio. And make sure definitely that you are following on YouTube. So do all that as I set this music as a background for you. Okay, guys.
Only water, where they see ma. Water. Oh yes, you go me water. Only water, where they see ma. Hapa oh night oh. Hapa oh night oh. Hapa you don't come oh. Hapa oh night oh. Hapa oh night oh. Oro keke elemu ye o. Ide shodi ya keke elemu re o. Obi master keke elemu re o. Chief Latif keke elemu re o. Eruku lele elemu de. bóde ó jàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjìkọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. Ikuko Neru Agbeshe, may death have nothing to do with us. So may death have nothing to do with us. Straight into it. PDP crisis. Finally, Atiku takes crucial decision over call for Ayu's resignation. So straight into it. Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP on Wednesday, September the 21st, stated that he cannot force Iyochia Ayu to resign as the national chairman of the party. Atiku made this submission in reaction to the news that some of the members of the party who are in Governor Yemsen Wike's camp have pulled out of its campaign council. The former vice president specifically noted that the decision of the bigwigs came across to him as a huge surprise. So his words: "Personally, I am quite surprised with this withdrawal because, as I have been informed by officials in our party, apart from the River State chapter of the PDP, all the remaining states of the federation submitted names of people who they wanted to be included in the presidential campaign council. On the calls for the resignation or removal from office of our national chairman, however, I must reiterate what I have said severally in public and in private. The decision for Dr. Iyochia Ayu to resign from office is personal to Dr. Ayu, and neither I nor anyone else can make that decision for him. As to the cause for the removal of Dr. Ayu from office, however, I will state that as a committed Democrat and firm believer in the rule of law and democratic tenets, and our party being one set up, organized and regulated by law and our constitution, it is my absolute belief that everything that we do in our party must be done in accordance with and conformity to the law and our constitution. If Dr. Ayu is to be removed from office, it must be done in accordance with the laws set out. If Dr. Ayu is to be removed from office, it must be done in accordance with the laws that set out the basis for such removal. In any event, you will all recall that the very body that empowered by law to initiate this removal from office has already passed a vote of confidence in him. Meanwhile, the rift between Atiku and Wike, the former had appointed latter as a member of the presidential campaign organization for the 2023 election. The PDP has been battling an internal crisis since the emergence of Atiku as the party's presidential flag bearer. After losing the presidential ticket to Atiku and the vice presidential ticket to Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, Governor Wike and his allies have been demanding the resignation of Ayu. So there it is right there. So that is a doubling down, of course. That's a doubling down. That's a doubling down on still that position. We thought that might well be a pivoting of positioning or a thawing or of positioning, but there's no thawing. So everybody is digging themselves into entrenched positions, and nobody is willing to give or yield. So no give or yield within that space, which is to tell you that it is too late, by the way, for them to ask to ask Iyochia Ayu to step down, because they will lose too much face if they do that. And it is also too late for Wike and his group to find a window back, because it is also too late for them to do that. They will lose too much face. So positions are entrenched now, and they're digging in the trenches and battening down the hatchets. So there it is right there. There is no going back, of course. Wike now set to campaign against Atiku, but what does that mean? Or will he even? But all that's to be found out shortly. Because, of course, Wike will respond, and we wait in anticipation. Powerful northern governor drops bombshell, reveals saboteurs in Buhari's government. Yahaya Bello, the governor of Kogi State, has disclosed that some people and agencies are sabotaging the administration of President Mohamed Buhari. Bello, who is also the National Youth Coordinator of the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, made this known on Wednesday, September the 21st. Correspondent can report. The governor spoke with Arise TV on the preparedness of the All Progressives Congress APC ahead of the official opening for political campaigns for the 2023 presidential election. Speaking on Nigeria's death ratio, unemployment, and the mass migration of medical workers under the administration of President Buhari, as disclosed by the National Bureau of Statistics, the governor said the statistics are questionable because the president never rejigged the MBS. He says, most times we question and query the statistics because I am most affected sometimes. For instance, the MBS or in the media or out there, people used to say that Kogi State is owing salaries and not paying salaries. Even an elite once put it on his Facebook post that I was owing salary for 18 or 12 months. And that person is supposed to be a credible leader in his own right. And within a few hours, he had to put down that information. So there are information out there that are misleading. Correspondents earlier reported that Yahaya Bello, the governor of Kogi State, has disclosed that the administration of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu will be dominated by the youth if elected. The governor hinted that Tinubu will only provide the expertise and experience, but the youth will determine and run affairs of the government. The North Central governor has just been appointed as the National Youth Coordinator of the Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council. So there it is. I'm not quite sure that he revealed anything, of course, only to indicate that there are shadowy figures orchestrating the Buhari administration, but what exactly is news there, I'm not quite sure. And denying, of course, statistics, empty head Yahaya Bello denying statistics. Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria, promises free, fair elections. President Mohamed Buhari says free, fair, and credible elections are the foundation of political stability and peace in any nation, assuring that he would leave a legacy of free and fair elections. The president made this known in his last address before the world leaders at the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States. Indeed, we now are preparing for general elections in Nigeria next February. At the 78th UNGA, there will be a new face at this podium speaking for Nigeria. Ours is a vast country strengthened by its diversity and its common values of hard work, enduring faith, and a sense of community. We have invested heavily to strengthen our framework for free and fair elections. I thank our partners for all the support that they have provided for our elections. As president, I have set the goal that one of the enduring legacies I would like to leave is to entrench a process of free, fair, and transparent, credible elections through which Nigerians elect their choice, he said. The president also called for debt cancellation for developing countries, noting that it poses severe challenges to the affected nations. Indeed, the multifaceted challenges facing most developing countries have placed a debilitating chokehold on their fiscal space, he said. This equally calls for the need to address the burden of unsustainable external debt by a global commitment to expand and extension. Oh, okay, let's take that again. This equally calls for the need to address the burden of unsustainable external debt by a global commitment to the expansion and extension of the debt service suspension initiative to countries facing fiscal and liquidity challenges, as well as outright cancellation for countries facing the most severe challenges. The president, who reiterated his commitment to constitutional limits, said Nigeria has stood for democracy and the rule of law as a country, and in the sub-region in countries such as Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and the Republic of Chad. He added, as I approach the end of my second and final 4-year term, I am reminded of how much has changed in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world, and yet how some challenges remain. We are now more severely tested by these enduring and new global challenges, paramount amongst which are conflicts increasingly being driven by non-state actors, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, terrorism, violent extremism, malignant use of technology, climate change, irregular migration, and disparities in opportunities for improved standards of living. Despite the challenging international environment, the United Nations has proved that it can be strong when the will of its members is harnessed for positive collective action. The guiding principle of this extraordinary institution is the promotion of peace and security, development, and human rights. So there is the Aboki from Daura. I wonder if he's able to read those words. I wonder if anybody understood anything that he has to say. It's like a government, the government, the government, the government. I wonder if the Americans understood what he had to say. We certainly don't understand it in Nigeria. So I wonder then what the international community are making of this semi-literate person that purports to be the president of Nigeria. So let's go on from there to, but still staying with the Aboki from Daura, of course. Are social media influencers now more powerful than global policymakers? Malam Buhari still. President Mohamed Buhari has acknowledged the growing influence of social media on global politics, urging world powers to rally and protect freedom of speech. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The champion of freedom of speech, Aboki from Daura, Mr. Buhari commented at the general debate. Mr. Buhari commented at the general debate of the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday, whilst addressing climate change policies and initiatives. There was a time when the most important event at this assembly was the speech by the world's most powerful leaders. Now, a tweet or Instagram post by an influencer on social or environmental issue may have greater impact, Mr. Buhari said. Technology offers us nearly limitless opportunities and sometimes runs ahead of the imagination of regulators and legislators. At its best, social media helps strengthen the foundation of our society and common values. Mr. Buhari added that the world's power must come together to defend freedom of speech whilst upholding other values that we cherish. The Buhari-led administration has seen the shrinking of civic space due to the multitude infringements of freedom of speech. Last year, Mr. Buhari clamped down on Twitter in response to a deleted tweet which violated the social media platform's guidelines. The federal government announced the suspension of Twitter operations in the country on June the 4th after the social media giant deleted a post by President Buhari for a violation of the company's abusive behavior policy. By June the 5th, the suspension was carried out by telecommunication companies as Nigerians witnessed Twitter shut down across all platforms. The hashtag Twitter ban lasted for 222 days, attracting condemnation from citizens and the international community, further damaging Nigeria's democratic and rights credentials on a global scale. Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom all spoke against the ban, citing infringements on the constitutionality protected freedom of speech. The ban affected businesses, especially the small and medium-scale enterprises and the government at different levels as Nigeria's unemployment and insecurity concerns worsened under the Buhari-led administration. In 2019, Mr. Buhari declined to assent the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill. He said the bill covered too many technical subjects and fails to address any of them extensively. The bill aims to provide for the protection of human rights online, to protect internet users in Nigeria from infringement of their fundamental freedoms, and to guarantee application of human rights for users of digital platforms and all digital media and for related matters. A coalition of non-governmental organizations launched reports noting how the Nigerian government used security concerns to intimidate civic spaces in the country. The report titled Nigeria Shrinking Civic Space in the Name of Security explored how the government used security challenges to undermine the ability of citizens to speak, associate, and organize freely. This is evident in the military crackdown on unarmed protesters at the anti-police brutality hashtag #EndSARS protest in 2020. So there it is right there. The champion of free speech, Aboki from Daura, that's a turn up for the books. If you ever wondered what that phrase means, a turn up for the books, that is exactly what it means. A champion or the champion of free speech, Aboki from Daura. Aboki from Daura, Nigerian High Court sets aside consent judgment on $47 million Paris Club refund payment for Panic Alert Limited. The Federal High Court in Abuja has set aside a consent judgment entered in favor of a company, Panic Alert Security Systems Limited, against the trustees of the Nigerian Governors Forum for the payment of money to some individuals and organizations for the roles they played in the Paris Club refund received by the Nigerian government. Panic Alert Security Systems Limited had relied on the consent judgment to lay claim to professional fees of $47.8 million. Before the judgment delivered by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Toso, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN had equally relied on the judgment and since recommended that the money be paid to the company. However, dissatisfied with the recommendations of the AGF on the basis of the consent judgment, the 36 state governors through their forum, the NGF, instructed their counsel, Mr. Paul Harris Ogbole, SAN, to challenge the said consent judgment upon which the AGF relied on in court. In his ruling on Tuesday, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Toho, or Soho, is TSOHO, held that the said consent judgment in its entirety was entered without jurisdiction. The court agreed that the counsel for the governors, Mr. Ogbole, that the relief claimed by the Panic the court agreed with the counsel for the governors, Mr. Ogbole, that the reliefs claimed by Panic Alert Systems Limited against NGF in suit number blah 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 were premised on a simple contract which by section 251 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended strips the court ab initio of the required jurisdiction to entertain such matters. Accordingly, the court set aside the consent judgment in suit number blah blah blah. By the ruling, all approvals by the AGF, the President, Minister of Finance, Accountant General of the Federation, Debt Management Office arising from, related to, and concerning Panic Alert claim have been voided. In addition, all promissory notes, checks, and any financial instrument issued by the federal government in favor of Panic Alert were nullified and cancelled and of no effect whatsoever. The decision followed a motion filed by the incorporated trustees of the Nigerian Governors Forum on June the 30th, 2021 for the setting aside of the purported consent judgment in suit number blah, blah, blah. The motion, which was filed and argued by counsel for the NGF, Mr. Ogbole, against Panic Alert Security Limited, and Dr. George Ubo and others, was rooted on the grounds that the Federal High Court by virtue of Section 251 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, lacks jurisdiction to have entertained a matter that was founded on a simple contract. In the suit, Panic Alert Security Systems Limited, purporting to have been contracted by the NGF to review a 16-page judgment in suit number blah 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 between Linus International versus Federal Government of Nigeria and three others. The company had claimed that it was entitled to $47.8 million being consultancy fees, which were never agreed or specified in any contract with the NGF. It thereafter filed an action for breach of contract against the NGF at the Federal High Court, Abuja, on April the 8th, 2021. But in a motion for the setting aside of the consent judgment, the NGF, through its counsel Ogole, argued that the consent judgment arising from the suit did not award the said sum of $47.8 million or any other sum to Panic Alert. He submitted that, on the contrary, the judgment merely stated that Panic Alert will be referred to the Attorney General of the Federation for verification and settlement. So 419 is the totality of what you've just heard, and the complicity of Abubakar Malami totally embedded within that. So you hear me say this guy is the greatest looter in Nigeria. Don't take my word for it. There it is in black and white. There it is in black and white right there for you to. There it is, the black and white for you to reflect on by yourself. So let's land on this finally now. This is now the new Nigeria that we have now because of the infiltration, the influx of foreign persons into the Nigerian state. Federal lawmakers investigate immigration status of Chinese man who killed a Nigerian girlfriend, suspends his employer's operations. The Nigerian House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the legal status of the Chinese national Geng Quarong, who allegedly did away with his lover, Umar Kulam Buhari. Let's just leave it there because I will have to reword it not to offend YouTube. Correspondents had reported that Mr. Geng allegedly broke into the house of Miss Buhari at Jambulo quarters in Kumboso, local government area of Kano State, and did away with her. Correspondents report that the Chinese national has no valid passport as his papers were said to have expired, but his company shielded him. As public outrage continues to trail the incident, the House of Representatives during plenary on Wednesday mandated its committees on Interior and Justice to investigate the status of Mr. Geng and directed the suspension of the operations of the firm the man works with. The resolution was sequel to a motion of urgent public importance moved by Kabiru Ruran, APC Kano, on Wednesday. The members of the committee are to also visit the family of the deceased to convey the condolences of the House. Furthermore, the House directed the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria and the Chinese community in Kano State to condole with the government and people of Kano State and Nigeria. Mr. Geng is currently remanded at Kumawa medium security custodial facility following the order of the magistrate court in Kano. In addition, the Chinese Business Community Association of Nigeria had also issued a statement supporting the prosecution of Mr. Geng. Mr. Mike Zhang, the leader of the community, in a statement on Monday condemned the criminal act. In the motion at plenary, Mr. Ruran disclosed that Ms. Buhari was a corps member undergoing the mandatory NYSC in Sokoto before she met Waterloo. Mr. Ruran said despite the evidence that the incident was premeditated, 5 days after the police had yet to come out with a preliminary report on their investigation. Speaking in support of the motion, Uzoma Abontoa, PDP Abia, said the Nigerian government cannot allow foreigners to subject Nigerians to such treatment. So it looks as though there's a pivoting somewhat because usually it's an impunity space for foreigners in Nigeria, but it looks as though there's a pivoting somewhat in how Nigeria now does things. So, Squilo, I see you. Vote your choice. I see you. Des, I see you. The progressives, I see you. And man of prestige, I see you. So good to see you, gentlemen. Good to see you, gentlemen. So let me go to Squilo, who seems to be a new voice to conjure with. So Squilo, to you. Are you there, Squilo? Oh, this is what frustrates me, you know. If are you there or not, guy? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you, one man.
Yes, I can hear you, woman.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. So if you're not there, Squilo, then I have to let you go because I'm not really keen on this. But let me go straight to the progressives. Let me go straight to the progressives. So the progressives to you, and to you straight away to the progressives. Now these are China mad coming to ride roughshod over Nigerians in their own country. What are you making of that? A core member, that is just so painful. All the investment of the parents just done away with by some ching chong ching from wherever.
Could you just put me through a little bit because I wasn't following from the beginning?
All right. Let me take you to another space then. Let me take you to the space. Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria, promises free and fair election. So debt cancellation, of course, debt cancellation would suggest that they borrowed money to use it for meaningful purposes. But how deserving then is the Nigerian state of for debt cancellation?
How can you go and ask for debt cancellation when the people that you're asking for them to cancel your debt, your government, the money you spend to run government is expensive. It's much more than what those people pay to run their own government. How can they listen to anybody like that? People, our leaders, they don't have brains in their head, man. How can you go to a place like that when senators in Nigeria are any more than any lawmakers in the world? How can you go to a place that when you as a president and your ministers and every single one of you are living flamboyant life, when you went to the United Kingdom for medical checkup, you spent the country's resources, and then you go to another man to say they should cancel your debt? This is stupid, man. We haven't even done anything at all to try to reduce the amount of money we spend on governance. Not a single try at all to say, look, within the system, let's see what we can do to reduce the amount of wastage, the amount of resources that we just use for no reason. A serious country, a serious people, they do things for the betterment of the country, not for individual, not for a region or for tribe, no, for the nation. But Nigerian own, I don't know. If you come, why do we still have this bicameral National Assembly that we have now? Why last time the Senegalese president got into power, and then he reduced it to a single House of Assembly? A lot of countries are doing this. Why can't we do the same? Why do we need the Senate and the House of Rep? What are they doing?
Do you think they should be putting these conditions that you're describing? They should be putting it to any form of debt forgiveness.
It should be. In fact, there should be the one restructuring the country for the debt forgiveness. Also, okay, you want debt forgiveness? This is what you should do. This is what you should do. You do all of this, they will forgive your debt. Because you can't just look. When Obasanjo was in power, they forgave the debt. So within how many years the thing has gone back to how many trillions? We're talking trillions of naira. It doesn't make sense, man. We cannot continue like this. Let us first of all look within, and then try and sort things out within ourselves. It's not like there's no money in that country. There's money in that country, one man. But the money we use to run government is just way, way too much. Listen, we don't need 36 state governors. We don't need it. We don't need 36 state House of Assemblies. It doesn't make sense.
Do you not think we need 36 state governors? Because I think we don't have enough states in Nigeria for the land mass.
No, it's not. One man, it's not. This is the problem we have now. It's not about the state.
Because a
having the
lot
state.
of those northern states, they can easily, comfortably divide into 5 more states.
Yeah, but this is one man. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. We can divide Nigeria into 100 states. That is not the problem. That is just name on its own. You can say Oshun or Badagry state. You can say Benin state. It doesn't make no difference. But when you start to make difference, is when you start to create another branch of government within that state. Then it become a problem. Then you have to have a governor, you have to have a deputy governor, you have to have a state house of assembly, you have to have everything. Then it costs money, but you can create this state, and then you just have a regional governor. All of this state can be handled by a mayor. That's all. Then the governance is in the local government. Anywhere you go, governance is in the local government. Then you can create local government and make it stronger. Put resources into the local government. You don't need all these 36 state government. You just have 6 regional governors, 6 regional houses of assembly. The current members who are the members of the House of Representatives will go to their region to serve as members of House of Rep. They will only come to Abuja when they have issues of national matters to discuss or bills to pass.
Do you not think that part of the problems we have is that the governance is not being brought close enough to the people? Is that not half the problem we have?
Yeah, but that is why we need to. That is why we need to work to strengthen the local government. If we have to create more local government and more wards, I'm for that. I don't mind. You understand? But to have 36 state governors, they consume a lot of resources. A lot of resources. Because you have to have your 36 state house of assemblies, you have to have all the state governors have to have commissioners, all the commissioners have to have permanent secretaries everywhere. It's just too much money wasting everywhere.
Do you think so? Let me share this screen with you. Because this is a space that we have been to on this platform before. So here is a screen of the Nigerian map. If you look at the southeast, where my cursor is here, Enugu, Abia, Imo, etc., Anambra. So look at that. If you pick that up, if I'm able to pick that up, I could comfortably slot it 2.5 times into Niger State alone. So that is to tell you that for all of the governance, which the individual composing southeast states will say they are not feeling the impact of. So all of that are all the investment of our 5 or more institutions to bring governance closer to the people that they have in that geographical space. All of it is condensed into one in just Niger State alone. Same for Borno, same for Plateau. So all of those northern states, they are too vast to be one state. They are too vast. And that means then that governance is not brought close to the people.
Yeah, but it is not.
Hey, one man, can I interject?
Hold on. Let Akim land that point, and then you come in.
It is not the state government per se. It is the local government that matters. If we create and make local government stronger, the people will feel the impact of governance. You can still have state mayors. Mayor is just one person. He doesn't have a deputy. He doesn't have a house of assembly. You can have mayors to represent those states.
But those local governments will still be superintended by those local governments will still be superintended by the state government and the states in the north. They are too big.
There will be no state government. There will just be the local government, and then the state will be like an intermediary between. That will be a representative of the state as a whole through a mayor of the state, not a governor. No. We can walk around.
Are you saying to do away with governors entirely?
No, we will have regional governors. That's what I'm saying. We will now have 6 regional governors.
I'm not quite sure how that works.
Okay. So it's just like in the southwest now, right? You have 6 states in the southwest. So take all the 6 states out, then you have one governor. So if the governor wants to be based in Lagos or Ibadan, fine, no problem. You have one governor. Then in Oyo, in Oshu, in Ekiti, in Ondo, you have state mayors. So if you want to even divide those states into 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, you can do that there. But each one will have a state mayor. So if you want to create more local government, you can. Then you can then have local government elections or mayor's elections. So what
If
you
you are
have,
if you are saying that, because the map is still on your screen, I'm going to see if I can enlarge it so everybody can see fully. Let me just make sure it's showing sufficiently on the screens. If you are going by what you are saying, the progressives, then really then by that extension we should condense all of the southeastern states into one state and then use that system that you are proposing.
no. This look,
Oh, look
the
at
south
that.
is no. What I'm trying to say is the southeast is already part of the sixth region. The way the region is set up, it's already part of the sixth region. So we cannot then condense it back into one state. So we already have a sixth region in the country. So we just keep it that way and then create six regional governors. So you can argue where the north is going to benefit from it is that they will create more state and more local government where they will have more state mayors that will be representing those states. If that is your argument, so they can create more state from those places and then just have them represented by mayors. So mayors' office is not as big as the governor's office. So imagining all the 36 states House of Assembly and all the lawmakers, some states, one man, in a year they will spend over 40, 50 billion for just the state lawmakers alone. So imagine add that one in
You
36
know, all
states.
the developmental allocations that all the tiny little states that comprises the southeastern states, all the developmental allocation that they get from the federal space, are Niger State gets one installment of that, one tranche of that, and Niger State alone is 2.5 times the totality of the landmass of the southeastern states.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. If you want equity, then if you want it in an equity form, then we have to go to that regional system that I'm trying to explain to you. It means that you might if they can create more local government and more state, then more resources will then go to those places. You understand what I'm saying now?
I don't understand, but I am dumb
So
anyway.
okay,
So all these things are
the way it
above
is
my
now,
head,
the way it is now, the southeast have 5 states, right? And the northwest have 7 states. So to some people, they see it as an unfair and imbalanced sharing of the way it's been shared is not balanced. But I understand from your point of view that you said that they have a bigger landmass. Okay, we understand it's a bigger part of the country, the northeast. But what I'm trying to explain to you now is that if you then create a 6 regional governors, okay, the southeast we have one regional governor, the northwest we have one regional governor, but the southeast cannot then break small parts into local government. But the northwest can break their own into local government and create more states. But those states can only be represented by mayors, not governors. So in each region now, you will now have one regional House of Assembly for each region. So the current members that are representing those people in the House of Rep now will be the one in those same regional House of Assemblies. That is all I'm saying.
all right. Man of Prestige, you wanted to come in. Man of Prestige.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Hey, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I just needed to interject. When you was making reference to the landmass and and creation of states. So my point is that creation of state is not a problem. We don't need more state in Nigeria because some of the states can't even take care of themselves. I mean, you can kind of maybe a limited number of states, maybe four or five states that's going to sustain to the economy. I mean, the other ones are useless. So creation of state is not the issue. And one more point you was making in terms of population and land mass. I mean, state doesn't supposed to be based on land mass. It's supposed to be based on the population. So you can't be saying because the Northerners has a lot of land mass, they need more states. No, they don't, because some of the lands are just barren. We don't even know how many population they have over there.
I'm not sure that they are barren, because these are the breeding grounds of insurgency. When you hear that some satellite village has been sacked, in Kafanchan or wherever. It is people that are living there, and it is because those states are so big that governance is not getting to those spaces, and insurgency and banditry then runs riot.
So what you're telling me is that, you know, because of their landmass, you're just going to create 2 or 3 more states within, let's just say,
you
Niger
can comfortably create 2 more states. 5 more states in Niger State?
That don't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. What about the people that lives in the interlands of that space? That they don't even know that.
Hold on, one man. Are you telling me a place like Niger State that has a very large landmass, I think one of the biggest in the country? Are you telling me you're going to just create 2 or 3 states because of that? Because they have a large landmass?
Yes, to bring governance closer, to the people of that.
This is what I said to you before. You cannot create states to bring governor. You have to use local government to do it.
Yeah, but the local government system is not working in Nigeria, is it?
Yeah, but we have to strengthen it. You can't say because it's not working there, but no, we have to strengthen it, make it work. Because if you begin to create state, you will just create a state that is going to be empty, that will not be worthy of being a state. Let's say Niger State. Now, what is the population of Niger State? Is it more than 10 million people?
Oh no, not even
exactly.
Close.
Exactly. So that's the problem. But it's a very big place. So if you begin to cut it into 3 parts now, you'll be surprised that the population the area where population are just dense into, by the time you take those areas out of it, you'll just be left with desert land or forest land. So you're not going to create a state in a situation like that. But the best thing you can do is create local government. Local government will capture people more, even if there are not a lot of people in that local government. But it is a local government.
Progressive is 5 million.
Where are you getting that from?
I just Google it. 5 million.
All right. Well,
so
I'm not sure where you got that from. It's nearly 7 million, but
no, it's not. It's only 5 million, one man with a landmark of
as at when?
Hold on. It's not telling me the. It's not telling me the actual date. Hold on.
I have it on my screen and it's 6.2 million, but there it is.
So okay, 1 man. Let's assume it's
close,
7 million.
But it's 5 million. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's call it 6 million. Let's assume it is 6 million. Okay, so that is it's not even twice, 2.5 times the population of Lagos. So what are you going to do then with Lagos?
How do you mean? You increase the allocations by. But anyway, that's my own thought, but it doesn't seem to have popular something. But I definitely feel that, Niger State certainly is not one state. I mean, it's just impossible. Just even setting aside the population, how do you manage the land mass? How do you manage the land mass as just one state? It's just a near impossibility.
That is why you can do that with local government, not because if you were to split Niger State into 2 now, just imagine if the population are mostly dense in one side. So you could have 4.5 million on one side, and then you only have about 1.20 million on the other side.
All right.
If you put 2 things into consideration here, let's say this one that everybody's like advocating for restructuring, let's endeavor to push that states should have at least 80 or even 100% autonomy each state. That is where the competition will come. That is where everybody will desire to use those land. I'm saying that if you want to narrow it down to what is happening in America, if you go to states like North Dakota, South Dakota, it's just vast land of pretty much nobody. But within those small villages and small towns, you obviously all sorts of farms and ranch in between them. That's one.
Yeah, that is because they have a small government, like a local government that is functioning.
That's what I'm saying. So, every state runs its own state according to its resources, its demography, and whatever he or she can produce. Every state. This one that everybody is running to Abuja to collect small and now. Let's challenge every governor. Once that kind of autonomy is there will now be competition. Everybody will now.
But then you have to concede resource control. That is to mean divesting the oil fields to the creeks.
Well, it doesn't matter actually where the oil is located. If there is competition, I mean, how many are we going to be talking about?
If you are saying states should be autonomous, then they have
Yes.
to be able to use whatever resources they have to survive. And the resources that the creeks, the resources that the creeks have is the oil wells. So you have to concede the oil wells back to the creeks.
Yes, rather than going center to collect, you donate to the center. So even those states that doesn't have oil, they will look inward and enhance their own whatever they have as their resources, human development, to the point
and that was the original constitution, by the way. The original constitution was 70-30. 70% you hold on to your, and then you pay 30% to the federal space, but the military.
Yes. That is the only way to utilize those land. And two, again, if you want to go by the UN and everybody estimate by the year 2050, Nigeria is going to be the third largest nation in the world, which is about what, 500,000, 500 million. So where are all those people going to come from? One might be put all those into consideration. So soon, those land will be occupied by humans, and we will begin what's it called? We'll begin climate change. Climate change is happening, but not knowing that we are the problem. Instead of us to be living with the land, we are living on the land. So that is the problem that is causing all those things. But that's not really for another.
When they say restructuring, one man, there's a lot of things that need to be restructured in Nigeria. One, the government needs to be restructured. Governors need to be restructured. After the restructuring of governors, then whoever is the government of the day now have to restructure the system itself, the nation itself, because it is baffling to understand that as of today in Nigeria, we don't have a database system that is capturing every child that is born in Nigeria, and even the citizens. So I don't understand why we still haven't got to that point. I don't understand they come with NIN, but the way that country is going, I think we should have moved past where we are right now. There's just too much for a president to now go to after almost 8 years in government, whereby he borrowed money more than any other government. Then he now went there and said they should forgive debts. That man needs to go home and sleep, man.
It's a ridiculous idea. I mean, if the debt was commensurate with infrastructural visible infrastructural impact, then you will see that there's an argument. And even if it was commensurate with infrastructural impact, then there will be sufficient enough to service the loans just from the expansion of the economy by those infrastructural impacts. But you borrowed to loot, and then you're asking them to forgive them. I mean, it's just anyway. Only he can come up with that. So that's just it. A brief commentary on this. The progressives, and then I'll go on to Ovie, who may well leave us fairly soon. Federal lawmakers investigate immigration status of Chinese man who killed Nigerian girlfriend, suspends his employer's operations. So this, because these Chinese, they are getting somewhat out of control within Nigeria, because we've done a story here. Now, once upon a time, a Chinese restaurant in Lagos preventing Nigerians from eating there. It was some girl that was alarmed that alerted us to that space. So apartheid by Chinese in our own country. So what are you then making then of the stance of the Nigerian state against our Ching Chong Chung from wherever?
So the lawmakers are then now immigration officers. I don't understand. Why are they investigating the immigration status of someone who is in the country? What happened to the immigration officers? What are they doing? Do we not have immigrations in the country anymore? The things some people do sometimes I don't understand. Yes, what the Chinese man did was very wrong. You know, these are things you cannot do in their own country. But don't forget, the reason why when we come to other people's country, we behave ourselves is because of the way the system is put in place. You understand that if you do anyhow, you will see anyhow. You understand? But in a situation whereby these people come to our own country, they will see the way our people are treating us. They see the way our leaders are treating us. They see the way our institutions are treating us. They'll just look and say, these people don't have value for their people. We say we can just do them anyhow. whereby they will they can use your own fellow Nigerian to even do whatever they want to do to you as well. So for me, a lot of things has gone wrong with our country. I don't know how we're gonna get back from it.
But surely we have to applaud the House of Parliament in this instance because
No.
because
No.
often instances foreigners they have impunity within the Nigeria. So for once they are standing up for the citizens. So is that not commendable?
No, it's not commendable. What is it? Why would it? Because what is it? Is it what? Where are the immigration officers? If you say they are investigating the incident that happened, fine. But to say they are investigating the immigration status, how do they have the machineries to even do that in the first place? Do they have the data to do that in the first place? So how are they going to investigate his immigration status? Well, I don't know. Is that not supposed
you
to be the
simply
job?
present his passport and they will see if he's
And
legally.
then Femi Bajamila will now bring a torchlight to be looking inside the passport to see if there's some mark there, some line there.
No, they will invite the immigration services to establish his immigration status. It's due process now. It's due process. They are following due process.
But one man, is that how UK Parliament call Home Office to come to the Nigeria, man? No, immigration officers will do their job, get the man in, check his document. If he's in the country legally, then send him out of the country. What has it got to do with the lawmakers?
No, he has to do jail time first. They have to do the jail time, and I think they have capital punishment for that particular crime.
Yeah, so if they want to prosecute him. What has it got? What are they going to do? Lawmakers, they don't have the capacity to check the man's immigration status. Let the immigration deal with that. And then if you want to prosecute him for whatever crime he has committed, do that. We can't look. So the things we do sometimes, it just make me laugh.
All right. I take a different view. The progressives, I think they should be commended in this instance. Just because you remember all those chorus that they would just abuse Nigerians, and you've seen them slapping Nigerians. I've seen instances where all these chorus, they'll turn up in a bank, there'll be a queue, and they'll stroll to the front, escorted by the bank security guard, all because of a white skin, and then the China man wants to come and override you. It must stop. It must stop.
Yeah, but if you are there, and then you see anybody in the queue, you're in the queue, and somebody is going to the front, you have to speak your mind. But the thing is,
in Nigeria,
it is the level of oppression. It is the level of oppression that is going on. One man, I went to one day like that. There was a time I went home and I was on the road, and then the next thing I was saying, wow, move, clear road. I thought maybe it was a governor or somebody that was coming. It's just a private citizen using the police to harass the citizens on the road. That is our own people. That is what we do to ourselves. This is how we treat ourselves. And then these people, they just get it. This is why people like me, I'm not lying to you. I can't live in Nigeria anymore because
it's interesting you say that, but carry on. I want to explore that space with you, but carry on.
You see, I don't like oppressions. I can't deal with a system where oppressions survive. I don't like it. I can't stand a situation whereby someone behave in that manner. If I was in a situation whereby I could just park my car and just listen. Why are you riding with a security outfit, or why are you disturbing other people's on the road? I will do it, So I'll easily get myself in trouble if I was to live permanently in Nigeria. Every time I will come home with bruises and injury for fighting on the street, because I just can't stand it anymore.
All right. This thing you say about not being able to live in Nigeria anymore, it's something that I've always given consideration to, because you see people building that nice mansion in their villages if you're from the southeast, building that lovely bungalow in their community if you're from the southwest, in the hope and expectation that once they have done their bit in their abroad, they will go back and retire to that space. Often instances never happen.
One man.
Hold on.
Sorry to intervene, one man. What are they building? What are they building in the north?
I don't know. Hamlets. What do they even know what to? What do they live? You see how they live now. They live amongst. You want to see how they live? I can show you how they live. Oh, have you not seen these people? They bathe with the pee of their cow. You were talking about people now. Why do you always bring the north in when we are talking about human beings? You want me to show you how they live in the north? They bathe with the pee of their cow. So that tells you, you don't worry about the north now. So
that's Jafar we are talking about.
Huh? No, it's not Jafar. Jafar is one of us. Jafar is one of us. No, Jafar is one of us. Jafar is not.
It wasn't Mandarin. They were thank God to go pick him up from the street and give him.
Jafar is is a middle class boy, but don't worry about Jafar. But no, people never ultimately live in those houses. It's the thing. You know,
one man. Because an average Hausa man is not loud. That's what you're saying.
I wasn't even talking about the Hausas especially. The point I'm making is that people abroad with that hope of the future that they'll build that nice little space that they're going to live in after they feel they have done their time abroad. That ultimately they never live in those houses. They may attempt to, but the grueling nature of the Nigerian life is what Akim was just saying. The grueling nature of the Nigerian life makes it near impossible. You are used to civilized living now. How many times have you driven down the road and your car ran into a bump?
How
many times in all of time in America, how many times have you come into your house and switched on the light and it did not turn up? How many times have you go to hospital?
Let's not go there.
We can't live like savages anymore. We can't live like...
Yeah. No, let's not go there. It is not every street in Nigeria that is like that. Yes,
no,
there is
a... No, it's not, we're not talking about every street. We're talking about the country. But Akim, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, one man, I'll tell you something, right? That the very first time after a while, the very first time I went home, right? I got home from Lagos to Benin. I took the bus. That was the biggest mistake of my life. This driver will go on an express road and go onto one way, and they'll be start driving like opposite traffic.
And the journey itself is like a roller coaster. Zim is like seesaw, isn't it?
I'm telling you, one man. I said that since that day I've never gone on that road anymore. I just buy ticket flight. If I cannot afford the flight ticket, I'm not going on. I just buy flight ticket from Benin to Lagos, from Lagos to Benin. Since that day, look, when I got to Benin, I was like, I was looking for Bible to go into a church and pray. I thank God that I survived the journey. And you will see people will just be quiet. The driver will be reckless on the road. Everybody will just sit down as if nothing is happening. I will be telling driver, take it easy. They start looking at me like a madman. Everybody was looking at me. I said, what's wrong with this one? Like no seat belt. They put load everywhere inside the vehicle. And then the driver was just...
all of them are weary people.
The driver was just driving the thing.
They look like you are JJC.
No, Adale Koko, I think I've told this story here once before. I'll tell you an experience about 3 years ago or so when I was in Nigeria. We were going from Lagos to Ondo. Then we took one of these commercial vehicles. And then one of the women in that commercial vehicle, she was having a sachet water or whatever, and then she finished the thing. It was only a sachet which she could have put in a bag or something, and she just flung it out of the window. And without even thinking, I was somewhat saying that you could have kept that to dispose of. The way she cut me up with the eyes, if looks could kill, she just cut me down. She just cut me down with a withering look, it was so you look at that, even at so many levels, you can't live there, can you? You can like a barbarians,
No, very abnormal place, man. Abnormal to live in.
This driver just left his own lane of the road and go on the other lane and start driving on express road. I said, what is wrong with this people? Everybody just kept quiet. I was like, what is wrong with these people? This man is going to kill all of you. I was just a driver, take it easy. Driver, why are you on this lane? Everybody was looking at me. What's wrong with this guy? Like I said, what is wrong here? Why is everybody quiet? So for me, a lot of things have to change in that country. A lot of things. There are things that you have got used to. So I'll listen to some people who say Nigeria is the best place to live. I said, you people, you are used to criminality. That's why you say that.
Akim, it is just lawlessness everywhere.
It is lawlessness.
That is lawlessness everywhere, from the top to bottom.
So the system, look, they'll just say elect somebody and the country will change. No. It has gone so deep. It has gone so deep, you won't believe it. There's nothing you do. You go out.
Are you saying Nigeria is beyond redemption?
It's almost beyond redemption. You go out, everybody's a beggar there. They have skills of beggar. Chairman, my this, chairman. They're all beggars. So where do you start from? And you go home, your own country where you were born, right? Then 7 o'clock, they'll be saying, bros, they don't dako, no stay out later. That is the country where you was born. We are talking right now. I can open my door and start walking out. Nothing will happen to me now. I can just open my door.
You don't even think about it, do you? You can go for a run if you feel like at this time of the night.
At this time of the night,
you don't think about it.
You don't think about it. I said,
not in South Chicago. Not in South Chicago.
Don't worry now. That's also a jungle now.
7 o'clock.
Not in LA. Not in Compton, LA. We got to
measure. In Kent, UK, you can. In Kent, UK, you can. Yes.
1 man. 7 o'clock, 1 man. They'll be calling you.
Not Memphis, Tennessee. Not Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. Thank you.
Bros, they don't that. House. Bros, I beg, no use network out. I say, what is going on? So what is the point of me coming to this place in the first place? What is the point?
1 man.
Go on there. Let's say, go on.
Can I contribute a few minutes, about 5 or 10 minutes? I'm about to leave, please.
All right, go on. I think Ovie wanted to leave as well, but go on because it's a
short. Let him go.
Go on. Thank you, the progressives. So thank you, the progressives. Let's hear from you then, man of prestige, otherwise known as IPOB San Diego, otherwise known as Oba of San Diego. So now under your present incarnation. So let's hear from you. So the conversation deviated somewhat to if you can still live in Nigeria. So start from that space. Do you think really in the deepest of your heart, knowing how your life is where you are now, do you think you can give up that life to say, I want to live and die on my father's soil? Can you still live in Nigeria, a man of prestige?
Thank you, man. Before I come to that space, I greet everybody. Baba Kure, I have not seen in a long time. Where have you been, brother? It's been a long time.
But anyway, I run away.
Okay,
I ran away to Nigeria that you guys think that is not livable.
All right, we come to you next. We come to you next. Because I was half poking at Baba Akure when I was saying all that because I know he's recently just built his dream house in Akure. So I was waiting for him to say something, but he didn't say anything. But let's hear from you, San Diego.
Congratulations, Baba Akure. Nice to see you back. Anyway, before I proceed, can you hear me, 1 man?
Yeah, perfectly. Carry on.
Yeah, before I proceed, 1 man. You treated me bad this morning. What happened? I came back and you didn't take me back. You just exist, the platform. What happened? I was trying to
it was a short. I did call you up, and when I call you up and you don't turn up, you have to understand that I'm also under pressure of time. It's very difficult to believe because I spend so much time online. I do actually have a life outside of this, which I also have to
admit. He called you prestige, man of prestige.
Yeah,
he was calling for you.
I had him. I had him calling. I wasn't in the mood at that particular time to come in. But anyway, thank you.
That's all right. Apologies. Carry on. Yeah.
Prestige. Oh, you sound like you broke your heart.
Look at that. Get the violins. Get the violins. Yeah.
I wanted to contribute, but anyway, before I proceed, I needed to make a comment before I proceed. This is about Alexander Gomez, and I know he's listening right now. So Alexander Gomez, if you hear what I'm going to say, is about your commentary this morning, which I beg to disagree. I mean, I do respect your commentary. You know how much I respect you, sir. But anyway, I beg to disagree with your commentary when it was talking about the Edo people, being the one pioneering the big campaign and everything. And you asserted that the Igbo people wouldn't do that to Edo people. I beg to disagree on that with you, okay? Alexander Gomez. That's all I want to say on that space.
All right. Maybe not a full understanding of what Alexander said. What Alexander was saying that surprisingly, the people that seem to be championing, they're not championing it the most, but a curiosity that Peter Obi is being championed by the Edos, and he was inviting that if it was the other way around, would the Southeasterners champion the Edos, which a lot of people, if they are being honest, will say no. Because the Southeasterners, they can be insular in most instances.
Yeah, I understand what I mean. That's exactly the same thing that I said. It's not a problem, but I just beg to differ with him. I think it depends on who the person, running for or whatever we are championing. I think the Igbo will do the same thing. I know, definitely, I will do the same thing. So, I can speak for a lot of Igbo that I know. But anyway, that's it. I just want to make a commentary in that regard. With no offense.
All right, noted. Carry on.
Okay, yeah, in reference to what you asked me, would I be able to live in Nigeria with this current Nigeria situation? I will be honest. I would say no. I'm just talking about my own opinion. Judging by the standard, I am in this country right now and the kind of condition I am. It will be very, very difficult. Would I like to live in Nigeria? Of course. But with my present condition, I'll probably go just stay. I can stay 6 months, a year, or whatever. But living there permanently.
Can you stay a year at a stretch without living? Because if you can live a year at a stretch, then you can live there permanently.
Of course, I have not been, not even more than 1 month that I have been there. So I'm just speculating, depending on the condition. Let's assume the condition.
All right, we're losing you. We're losing you. No, we can't.
You can hear me?
No, we can't now. We can't now. Carry on. But you are breaking heavily.
Yeah, I'm using a small device because I'm still working right now on my mainframe. So, but anyway, like I'm saying, I'm not going to be able to live in Nigeria with the present condition in Nigeria. It just will be unbearable to me. The economy, the hustling, because I'm not used to that anymore. The life in America is just what I'm used to. I've been here for a while. So I can't follow myself being in that country, staying there for a while. But the only way I can go is just to go visit or stay for a while, 2 or 3 months, maybe. Maybe I'm exaggerating about 6 months because I've not done it. So everything I'm saying, I'm just speculating if I'll be able to do that. So, but I don't foresee myself doing that. It's just unfortunate, but that's my country. I love the country. The only time I would like to go during the Christmas, you know what entails during the Christmas anyway.
All right, say no more. What happens in Ainapa stays in Ainapa. So let me take you then to the talking point.
Okay.
Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria, and then he goes on to promise a free, fair election. So what are you making of that then? Given how they have spent the money that they have borrowed, should he even have the effrontery, the audacity to ask for debt forgiveness? We've lost you again, man. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so mad about what's going on. Can you hear me?
Carry on. We can. You dip in and out heavily, but carry on.
Yeah, I'm using a small device, actually my iPhone. So I don't know. He doesn't have the audacity, but of course he has to try, knowing the kind of person he is. I think I had his speech briefly, but I didn't hear the whole speech that he was speaking. I was surprised the way he was standing there like a young man speaking. He just looked like a totally different person. I don't know what he's taking, one man. But Buhari seemed to have been the way he walked, and wearing the kind of shoe and everything that he's wearing. But anyway, kudos to him, Maybe that's what Tinubu needs anyway. I don't know what kind of booster he's getting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, but it still continues to break. But we'll endure. Let me take you to this space.
No, I've not finished my speech on that.
Yeah, carry on.
I'm sorry for my addition. I need to get it right. But anyway, so the speech was, I listened to the whole speech. Of course, he was reading, most of the time from the paper that was written. So, the speech was decent. Of course, he has the Malam accent, so that's not different. So I'm surprised he's, I don't know. It's very shameful for him to be asking for the loan forgiveness. I think they forgive him about loan during the passenger regime. That's the only time I can recollect. You can't be borrowing and asking for forgiveness of loan. You are borrowing more than you can generate. Most of the loan, of course, you borrow, you are not putting it to useful. They are all investing in the whole money, sharing the whole money among them. What nation live with? You are borrowing more than you can generate revenue. Not even, there's nothing wrong with borrowing, even in this country where we are right now. They do borrow money, but they're making use of it and be able to pay it back. How long can they be able to pay all this debt they're paying? And one other speech that he made that was so alarming, I think he said about free speech and everything. I can't even believe he's talking about free speech.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Right. Look at what happened during the Twitter. I've forgotten, we lost a lot of money, during the Twitter ban. I think, to my own recollection, I think maybe about 600 billion during the Twitter ban, right? Yeah. I think we lost close to 600 billion during the Twitter ban. And he has the audacity to talk about free speech and everything when Nigeria is probably the most authoritative, government we have. It seems like there's nothing different with Buhari government and military government. So it's just a shame in that regard. But anyway, let me keep my comments short on that. Give me another one, so before I leave.
All right. Let me take you to the space then. Let me take you to the space. So the China man that did away with his lover in Kano State, unfortunately, the girl, an NYSC person, a youth corps member serving in Kano State. So the National Assembly, not the National Assembly, but the House of Representatives, they've taken this on frontally to ask that they want to establish the immigration status of the China man, and then, of course, to then vest the full weight of law upon him. But is this impunity that foreigners seem to have in Nigeria, is this something now that needs to be addressed frontally? A China man now joining the list of people coming to Nigeria to oppress Nigerians in their own country?
Oh yeah, definitely, it's an impunity. We know that because even at home in this country, even with a citizen and otherwise, if you commit a crime, depending on the kind of crime, you're going to be punishable, and to a certain end, even at home with your citizenship, any kind of, depending on the heinous crime, you might be deported. Definitely, you need to be punished. You shouldn't exercise your right because even any kind of freedom because he's a foreign, because any Nigeria will be punished for that regard. So the right law of the country need to be exercised, and any kind of law that he deserves should be merited right away upon him. I don't understand. It seems like why all these people come to Nigeria and something like they get more freedom than we do. It doesn't really make sense to me. But Nigeria, that's how Nigeria is anyway. So one man, thank you very much. Okay.
All right, thank you, San Diego. So thank you, San Diego. So a short session, as I said. So let's go on from you, San Diego, to Ovie, who comes now, because we called him a superstar once upon a time, he now feels he can wear shades indoors. It's not smart. It's one of my bugbears. People wear, the clue is in the name. When they say sunglasses, S-U-N, sunglasses, that is to prevent the rays of the sun from your eyes. Did you not read that on the packaging of VA?
I'm Hollywood, one man. I'm Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, Hollywood, not Nollywood or Hollywood. Look at this. So to it then quickly, Ovie, your party man, Malam Buhari, asking for debt forgiveness, so that the money that Abubakar Malami helped himself to can be written off.
Oh, I thought we want to start with PDP anyway.
Yeah, go on. If you want to start there, start there. Yeah, go on.
I actually listened to the speech, but I might have missed where you were saying that he's begging for money. But two things stand out for me. One, and I think the most important one, is when he reassured the whole world that yes, he will make sure his lasting legacy is a free and fair election come 2023. That's a very strong message. That's a very strong commitment. And I've been saying that yes, the man will go out with a bang. I think this is it. I want to hold him with that he's going to come through with his word. that yes, he's actually going to straight through to the game and do whatever they can to make sure the election, at least, if not 90% or 80% credible. And that will actually speak volume. It actually speak to the yearnings of Nigeria, either the true winner of the election from day one, or he's going to go to second, as a few of us speculated. But yes, talking about being so I feel him on that when he said that. Then the social media part, when he was using Twitter and Instagram as reference, I said, yeah, Fulani man is woke. You guys take him for granted. I mean, that's a man who grew on the job. Let's give him credit. But for one thing, I was proud.
Sorry, Ovie. What credit? Are you saying that is an articulation of Buhari's thoughts, or that is him reading? That's Godfrey Oyema. That's Godfrey Oyema speaking. Not. What are you talking about now? Have you seen Buhari holding an iPad upside down? Do you want me to go and get the image? What are we talking about?
No, the guy was flipping through the. I mean, I was proud. You know me, Nazad. I'm from day one. I don't give Barry any credit from day one, but he grows on the job. Let's give him that credit. I see I'm looking all fresh. The guy fresh. I'm looking all nice, and he was right in a way. I mean, everything looked more headier than our president here. I give him that. He grew on the job, if I must say that. So for that particular speech, I mean, it was able to go back and forth. Say yes, he even started with his giving his own history. Being the first state administrator about 91, that the first time he spoke at the UN was 1984. He said he started by saying that, then come back 32 years later.
Is that not even disgraceful? Is that not disgraceful? So he has been the president of the country for 30-something years.
One man, you don't know how elite they brag. Yeah, you need to key into their language sometimes. They're not bragging, they brag. So if you don't brag for them, when you won't come brag, when you go lay down in Indonesia, say, "Mo could not forget, mo could not notice it as this is it." In this game before both of you were born.
Sorry to keep interrupting your flow, but Ovie, that's not really a brag. Because if he was telling them that he was the first time he spoke in the United Nations was 34, 35 years or 36 years ago, and then he's then inviting them to think back to that time, and then of course we'll remember that though this is just one of those African coup plotters. It wasn't an elected president, so what plaudits is he getting for?
No, one man. You need to now, if you want to break it down like that, none of them is a saint among all of them.
Forget all of that. It goes to a stereotype of Africans.
I know. Are you not saying that most of them there did not support him when he took over the government at that time?
I don't know about that, but that is what is it. But let's go to the main topic, just because we are for time. Go to the topics. Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I mean, he did well at that point. So, but that actually got me thinking. I wonder how I was trying to size up our candidate, how they would speak at that level. But that's a story for another day. Now, PDP, talking about me, a superstar. Yes, when it comes to PDP, one man, you have to give it to me as the superstar. Let me be connecting dots to you now. You remember when I first talked and say, when you were saying that the chairman of the party came from the south, came from the north in person of Ayu, that the ticket will come to the south. I said, we went back and forth to the point that now only blow will not exchange. What happened? The presidents go back to them. When our 17 governors came out to say the presidency must come to the south, waiting I talk, I said two things. I said, one, they are clowns. And two, they have succeeded in selling all the followers, all our southern people up for their own personal interests. And that's exactly what is he playing at. Among that 17 clowns, you will rate them there from the smartest to the dumbest. Iyochia Ayu is the smartest, while Wike is the dumbest among all of them. Now, why did I say that? If you go back again to that last year where all this permutation is going, when it don't become glaring that Atiku will get the ticket, I said we should watch out for Delta State Space, Okowa, for obvious reason. When Wike was busy romancing with Tambawa, 4 years ago when when Wike holds the constitution in Port Harcourt. Okowa was the chairman of that convention committee. And at that point, he was able to figure, after they lose the election, they were able to figure out that one of the major factors, because they are deputy president, Obi no agree spend money. I know they will come after me. The guy no agree spend money. So he understand that part. Now, when Wike has that opportunity for that 4 years, after Atiku left the country, Wike had opportunity to actually build the kind of structure across the party as he deemed fit. Because he was in charge of practically financing everything. But no, his personal ambition go back, he clouded judgment. He began to play, he was trying to play the same follow Tinubu playing card. But the difference is Tinubu is a more experienced man, and he don't take the game way before Wike coming. What do I mean by that? Tinubu was able to look around the party within the South who could give and run for his money at that time, and went for them early enough. People like Rocha said them Korocha. People like them, Bukule Amose them, through Oshomole. The same thing Wike was trying to do. Wike to settle and build the party the way he wanted was going after people that believe that will give him run for his money. That's why young, when you come to the top of age, Nigeria is going to vote for young person in Ayede. For that one took off. Maya took off. Even Obi himself, he denied he was directly responsible for why Obi no fit get the structure of Anambra. We make am first come out when they see the green light. So Wike was able to go after all these men, forgetting that the party now men get out. Remember when he insists that his own man must go, Secondus. Because at this point now, anti-secondus and pro-secondus, now then they fight now. When he insisted, as all those things they go, they spend money everywhere, the men will get parties behind. They were planning until he didn't even understand. That's why when I call him naive, I think I call him naive, yeah, people are going after me. I call him naive because if you're supposed to understand the history of the man called Ayu na Atiku man from day one. Obasanjo fired for his cabinet as one of his ministers because of Atiku. Why? Because now Atiku be the area of anti-totem. It was very vocal at that time. So his relationship with Atiku start, not be today. That's why they call him one of the founding members. He plays a lot role to even bring Obasanjo himself come to power. That's why throughout Obasanjo power, he served at one capacity or the other until when he don't become, he was okay, he don't pick side before the empire. So Wike should understand all this. You know all this. There is no way Ayu will be loyal to him. I don't care how much he won't pay him. Now, going back to the 17th class, all of them they plug themselves come out. They have seen they see the bigger picture. We'll go with his vice presidency. Now, if you look at the people who remain, we see they with them. And somebody should correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Autumn, Makinde, and Kezwa were there physically at that meeting where they cause they are withdrawing from the campaign council. I don't think those people were there because themselves don't they see okay, they have more at stake. They see get at least if they play their card well, all of them see get for 4 years. So Wike, when I say 9 be the dumbest among all of them now, he has exhausted every game where they in can. I spent the last one. My rodeo people from North Dakota go say it's the last kick of a dying horse. He don't know if 6 months from now, it will join among those they classify as political dustbin, according to Sule Lamido. He has seen that, and if you are outside, God no help you. You are not able to play your card well, to play a better role, then win. Without you, you are vulnerable. I mean, the example playing the day where he's going to learn from PDP itself. When these people come to power, don't be scapegoat that they use. A lot of people do this. He understand that is how this game is played. So because of his loudness and everybody now, last, Makinde go block out because Makinde, if you remember, when PDP had meeting in Oyo State, when he stand up and said that Ayu must go, couple of hours later, the Southwest PDP does say, man, he's on his own. So he has seen that too. He's on his own, and you understand that. That's why he was there with Wiki, but he was not there physically.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Southwest PDP is divided. So you have the Atiku faction and you have the Wike faction. So it's not like the Southwest PDP. It's just the Ogun, Oshu, and Ondo that came out.
That's why I'm naming them. That's why I say it's only the few people that are with him from the side. It's all pretty much Makinde and Opoizo who have electoral value. Let me put that. All those other men where they follow him, those them do not do whatever, they no count, they no get electoral value. Even to the other statesman, the two other statesmen, Bode George, he no get electoral value. Nobody send waiting. He just is fighting for his own last legacy. He say, okay, maybe if things go right, he go say, yes, he's on the side of history. Jerry Ghana, nobody know, he no get electoral value. So the people that actually matter within all this clown, how it doesn't be, we have much at stake. We go live Wiki within the next 2 months, because the next 2 months is going to be very interesting. Because they don't come. Atiku has called his bluff already with his response.
Well, that's exactly what Atiku can call his bluff, but ultimately, there's only one thing that would determine who has played the strongest hand, and that will be 2023 February the 23rd. If Atiku is declared president, then he can straddle the space and take all heads. But if Atiku is not declared president, it will look like an absolute categorical fool and has paid the price of his arrogance. So an arrogance so it's a flip of a coin. It's a flip of a coin.
Yes.
Heads you win, tails you lose.
I'm laying your narrative towards that failure of PDP at this point, because this is the time where the engine room, the mathematical room of PDP is supposed to put numbers together, but they are busy that
but that's the thing. All the energy that has been dissipated in this space, they should be using it to kill Tinubu finally.
So
not kill literally, but
So and they know it's not going to be easy. With Buhari actually assuring it's going to be a free and fair election with everybody. The numbers are not of anybody. The last thing they need is in a Wiki be the problem. No. That's the last thing they need. But one way or the other, I mean, now this man we surround Wiki, so this Bode George and the rest, they are all anger. They say they were not consulted before they set up the campaign council.
No, because
I'm quoting him, one man.
That might well be part of it. But their anger, it predates the setting up. They've been angry since the primaries.
Yeah, the main reason was that they said Ayu must still go. If Ayu does not go, then they
now, one man. Why I said it's too late before it's too late. They say, I mean, it's literally too late for them to be used as an argument, because they were focused on making sure Secondus must go, Ayu must come. They spend all their energy. The men will get party sit down, look, okay. After the elective position, there's another election that is coming up. That's what I thought. Say now they know, they understand that when they set when Atiku become a president, they set up a committee now to go against their own constitution. They speak everybody, led by Autumn way day now, who was the chairman of that committee. So that's why I say if when Atiku talks, they have to follow that due process, whatever they want to. If and what's his name? But the judge, they argue that for the fact that they were able to go against the constitution to make him the flag bearer, they should also do the same thing. But he has forgotten that a constitution has to be set up. And now the wrong time to set up the competition, because is when campaign don't start in 2 days.
What do you mean a constitution has to be set up? What does that mean?
No, like that, set up a committee to go about it, because that's how
they don't necessarily have to do that if they adopt temporary measures. So if they put an interim person in position, then they don't have to go through the whole process of a Congress.
Yeah, but one man, they will still go through the Congress, because what they are saying is this: if Ayu resign, the next person to take over will still be a Northerner, which is the deputy chairman North. So it will still be somebody from Ayu's side.
Yeah,
that
but
will
they can
take
do it by
over.
fiat. They can do it by fiat.
One man, I understand what you mean. Now by fear they take the constitution now, but in between that and the election, they set up a committee to go round if they should throw it open or they should zone it. At the end of the day, the committee rather throw it open. That committee was led by Autumn. So the same process you have to actually take place. If that's their argument, that's if they want to go by a Bodejot argument. But we understand at this point, Bodejot, we know where he stand. You want to stand. I mean, if you see even they analyze, we go back to this.
Okay, so if the southern part of the party, if they are sticking to the fact that they do not like this the way the things are structured, then if Autumn and then there can be a series of resignations to land on where the party wants to be.
No, but who won't resign now, one man? Those people don't get electoral value. That's what I'm saying. No, who won't resign? They don't say that they don't get
doesn't have electoral value.
One man, who can go to hell at this point? That's what they think. He go come up for power in this month.
Sheyi Makinde does not have electoral value.
Sheyi Makinde no gree appear after the side. He might be the leader of Southwest PDP.
Right.
But they go contrary to the belief that you must stand their opposite end.
Sheyi Makinde electoral value is not going to help Atiku. Atiku is not going to win. It's not going to win Oyo State.
It's the culmination of the totality. It's the culmination of the totality. So you have 5 or 6 sitting governors that are saying that they're not supporting the way things are. You have about 4 ex-governors are saying they're not supporting the way things are. And then you have a handful of party stalwarts saying they are not supporting the way things are. So the culmination of the totality of that space, you cannot dismiss it as
power.
But let's not analyze it. Let's not do it extensively though, because
let's analyze their relevance. Let's put the relevance one. Those are always they have Makinde already. Young people get against him. He say Ayu should resign. The Southwest say no, that's not our stand. And even the other statement said even though Ayu go resign, they should endeavor to bring the Southwest.
Who is the Southwest that said that?
The PDP of Southwest now, if you don't follow that communication, everybody else they come down from each state.
All right, bring it home, Ovie, so I can go on to Baba Akure. But it's a very short session. Bring it home.
Yeah, so at this point, within the next 2 months, all of them, what's his name? I think Wike will be on his own. Because everybody, the only people that will be behind him are these men that have no electoral value. Nobody send them. So they have called them. But again, if you want to see, let's go by the victory perspective. You want to put it the way you are saying that every other Southerners, which is too late, everybody don't pick his interest already. They are all divided. If they agree to unite against any of the candidates, either Tinubu or Obi, you are calling a very broad line of identity policy. That dichotomy between North and South. That is what is going to play out. But I just hope at the end of the day, it leads to something good. Either the country won't explode or whatever, but at the end of the day, we will learn one thing that we don't really count. It's all about self-interest.
All right,
then don't even care about me and you.
All right, on that we can agree. So all about self-interest. So now the interest, of course, in the Baba Akure's absence is one that my inbox has been full. So there is Baba Akure. All of you people that have been Instagramming me is well, and you see the cheeks are bigger than you last remember. So you can see that the good life is still very much in flow. So the good life very much in flow. Let me start you off with that little cameo that we had about people possibly building in Nigeria, but ultimately not living there. I was thinking about you when I was saying that, Baba Akure. What are your thoughts on that space, Baba Akure? Good to see you again.
Well, thank you very much for having me tonight, and thank you everybody that has been asking about me. I'm well and alive. It's just that I was a little bit busy, and a few weeks back I have visitors, and they spent some time here. My uncle came from US, and they were here. They just left last week Friday. Anyway. Go back to the main story. Actually, Nigeria is a very nice place. It is a place where I was born, and no matter what, that will be where I'm going to live the rest of my life after I finish from anywhere in this foreign land. So I think I'm attached to the place. It might be going through a lot of things right now, but doesn't really matter. That is where I plan to retire. Whatever challenges we have right now, I think by the time I'm ready to go back there, everything will be sorted out by God's grace. So that is for that. I know even my uncle that came here, we have the same idea and the same passion of living back in Nigeria. Back in our village, as a matter of fact, our house is just like 2 minutes walk to one another. When he was about to retire from US, he planned to go back to Nigeria finally. But eventually, according to the way I see things right now, it seems like he's not really interested of staying back there, because it's like 2 months in Nigeria, 8 months in US, 2 months in Nigeria, 1 year in US.
Baba Akure, you know those hospital visits for your kidney, for your leg, for your arthritis, and this, that, and the other, the osteo, whatever, all of that you are getting off your health insurance, and your doctor stretching. If you go to Nigeria, what happens to all of that?
Actually, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going right now.
Not you personally, but you know what I mean. But carry on.
I understand. I think my uncle was going through. I'm not saying that he's sick, but he considered all those things also, and he said, "Well, I think I will spend much time in the US than Nigeria right now, or before all this insecurity. Sometimes he spent like a year in Nigeria before he even traveled back to US." But now it's not like that. So it's like spend 3 months in Nigeria, spend the rest in US, spend 1 month in Nigeria, spend the rest in US. So that is what I've been doing now for the past 2 years. Well, we are praying that Nigeria will be better anyway. We are praying that Nigeria will be better. Though we'll be praying for a very long time, but we think it will still better, because I still have a hope in Nigeria. If Nigeria is not going to be one, then we can go our separate way, which is still very much active right now. But some people are still campaigning for that, while some people are campaigning for election. So we have so many options on the table. So that is for me about that. But definitely, I can, when I'm retired, I'm going to back to Nigeria, no matter what.
All right, because you've invested too much anyway, and I think you're determined.
Not really. It is just that I know that somebody make mention that some people are crazy that Nigeria is the best place to live and stuff like that. Nigeria is a very nice place to live if you have your money. Whatever we're talking about, you're talking about electricity, you're talking about water, you provide it in your house, you enjoy yourself. You don't need to worry yourself about that. But when you grow old, like me, I cannot stay here when I'm getting to that place, when God will say, okay, you have to come home. No, I'm not going to stay here. I have to dash back home. That is just the point.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. But
what of security and safety?
I will provide my own security. Don't worry, Nigeria will be better before that time. I'm not going now. I'm not going next year.
Okay.
But I strongly believe that Nigeria is going to be better. If Nigeria is not going to work, then everybody will go on their separate way. Like I said, there are still some people that are campaigning for Yoruba nation. There are some people that are still campaigning for underground, campaigning for Biafra nation. So we still have that going on anyway. It's not that it is just that this election make it a little bit cool down. So we don't know what is going to happen anyway. But to me, I pray.
Don't you think those ones are just mirage?
I don't think so. Just wait until after 2023 election.
Well, keep hope alive. That's what you are saying. We should keep hope alive.
That's right.
Okay.
The people hoping for Yoruba nation and Biafra nation, then they should pray for an Atiku presidency, because that will expedite it. Because if the prospects of being under Fulani for another 8 years will make us all Yoruba nation, will make us all Biafra.
I understand. I know what you mean, one man.
Yes.
I know what you mean, but let's just wait and see. We are just talking here and predicting. Let's just wait and see until 2023.
All right, let's go to what obtains at the moment. Baba Kure, Buhari begs United Nations General Assembly for debt cancellation for Nigeria. So I'm just thinking that just the goal of the man, the audacity for him to, knowing the history of how they have. So what are you making of that? What are you making of that, Baba Kure? Debt cancellation for Nigeria.
Well, Buhari has right to ask any help from anybody. But it's for United Nations to grant the help, or if you ask for help from somebody, it is up to that person to grant that your request or to deny it. Just like Buhari and United Nations. Buhari is a free man, he can say whatever he wants. And it is up to the United Nations to cancel the debt of Nigeria. Knowing fully well that most of this money is ended up back to where it was borrowed from. Take for instance, they collected money from maybe from IMF or from China. And what do they do with this money? At least 60% of them will be shared among them as a matter of how to pay salary. And where are this money end up? United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Switzerland, France, where all this money came from. And politicians take this money, steal this money, and put it back to those countries and save it there. Then you are asking for debt forgiveness. Knowing fully well that is the money that you borrow is you all guys save it in the bank in Switzerland, where all these people know where you kept the money. How do you think they will cancel the debt when just 3 persons can even pay the whole debt? Just 3 individuals in Nigeria. What am I talking about? Even 1 person can pay the debt they're talking about, and then you want them to just for it is just that Nigeria elite or thief, let me just put it that way. If they invest their money, I can tell you, most of these people that you see in Forbes richest man and something like that nation, a lot of Nigeria will take those space. It's just that they hide their money somewhere. So you want United Nations to just cancel the debt when just individual one person can pay the debt. So, like I said, Buhari has right to ask to make a request, and it is for United Nations to grant it or to deny it. That is my take on that.
All right, brilliant, Babakure. So brilliant. So Babakure, let me take you to this space then. Federal lawmakers investigate immigration status of Chinese man who did away with his Nigerian girlfriend, suspends his employer's operations. So it is these people now that come into Nigeria and act in manners that they cannot in their own home country. Only because, of course, the white skin is next to God to the Nigerian space. But no more seems to be the response from the House of Reps. What says you, Baba?
Well, thank you very much for that one. I really like that. Number one, I still don't see. I think Nigeria is still playing with these people with these people with soft hand. Number one, the judge that sent the criminal to medium security made a mistake, because that is a premeditated murder, and it is a very serious offense. That man is supposed to be in maximum security, not medium or minimum. So you can see, even if you look at that, you can see that they still play with them and treat them nice after they've already committed crime. Anywhere somebody commits crime, such crime, they have to be monitored, not just medium security where they can just run away, where they just give money to somebody and take them out. So you can see that skin or treat nice, oh, they are foreigner, it still very much take place in this in remanding this man. Now, there is nothing wrong in people coming to Nigeria, foreigner come to Nigeria, but they have to obey the rules and regulations of Nigeria. But does Nigeria really have rules? I can say yes, but are they obeying it? Absolutely no. Because even our leaders, they are not even following the rules. So how do you expect, if somebody come to country, how do you expect them to obey the rule?
when everybody is just behaving anyhow. So that is why you see all these things. So if Nigeria also commit this such crime in abroad also, they will treat them the way they need to be treated, not just like give the way they give this one man 5-star hotel, put him in medium security. And for House of Rep to now investigating what document does the man has. It also happen anywhere in the world. Lawmaker can call immigration to question. They want to verify what is going on. It is not something that is new, because I heard somebody saying that what concern lawmaker about immigration status. Well, it is important that they involve and they know exactly how this man come in, what is his status, is he a citizen, so that they will know how to deal with the matter as well. Because if it's a citizen of Nigeria, he cannot be repatriated to anywhere. He has to serve his sentence in Nigeria. But now, since he doesn't have documents, he still have to serve his sentence before they repatriate him back to his country. So, to me, I think they still treating this man very nice. And it is very also common among white people right now. I mean, I'm not going to say white people. Foreigner, let me just put it that way. Foreigner to come to Nigeria and kill their spouse. And look at this Swedish man. I think it was last year, right?
Yes, I think we discussed that, didn't we, Baba?
Okay, remember that? Yes, remember that. And this one is the second one within the space of 1 year now. So I think government needs to really take Nigeria serious, and it is the way we treat ourselves and our government treat us. That is why things like this happening, and everybody can just come in and just do anything they want, bribe their way, and just do anyhow. So it is very barbaric, and it is very sad.
All right, thank you, Baba Kure. And to this space, Baba Kure, social media influencers now more powerful than global policy makers. It is Malam Buhari speaking to the United Nations. So setting aside the messenger, but to that message, what he's saying is that the way the social media is able now to move opinion and by extension move the people to change the trajectory of nations and communities is more potent now than policymakers. Do you agree with that assertion that this is the direction now that the world is embarked upon?
Well, I don't think he is very right, but there is nothing anybody can do about it, because we are living in a technology age. Even if you go to church right now, you will see pastors using their iPad. Nobody is really reading book anymore, using their iPad to do their sermon or whatever they want to do. So social media has taken over politics, and before you know what's happening, if they say something before you know what's happening, the whole world already aware of it. Today, I was reading one news about COVID-19, that Canada is going to scrap arrive can, and this issue of a requirement that you have to be vaccinated and this and that. Government have not even brought it out, but it's already full the social media. So that is the age we are living in. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nobody can restrict that. So if they are thinking of that, they better rethink.
Oh, all right, brilliant. Thank you, Baba Kure. So thank you, Baba Kure. So Baba Kure is back. For those of you who have been asking, there he is.
One man, good morning, good evening. I'm here so that I'll be in your presence.
All right. Settle down, Solomon. Settle down. Yeah. So that's Baba Kure. He is. There he is. Ajale Koko, are the cheeks fuller than we remember, Baba Kure? Are the cheeks fuller than we remember?
It's not only fuller. It is looking fresher than
Look
before.
Look at that. Madam is doing a good job.
Don't worry. My vacation is coming on. Then I can go and relax myself in a very nice blue beach and white sand.
Where are you going? The Caribbean?
Caribbean,
that is one of my home.
Yeah. No, it's the Caribbean. Yeah. So you know,
Yeah, that is one of my
you are
home.
very fortunate, Baba Akure, because you know the Caribbean like the back of your hand. Of course, Akure, your homestead, and you are the Lord Mayor in your city.
Because I'm one of them in Caribbean, so I cannot shy away from there. If I
do
cannot
you
retire
speak patois? Do you start to speak what you say?
what you say, man? What you say, man? What you talk
say
about, man? So
look at
I'm part of them. I'm in that culture. I lived there for quite some years, so I know the culture. So if Nigeria is not viable to believe in, I can retire to Caribbean. So it doesn't really matter to me. I'm one of them.
All right,
so and there's nothing anybody can do about neither Nigeria government nor Caribbean nor Canada government nor nobody can do anything about it. So
look at that. A citizen of the world, Baba Akure. So good to see you, Baba Akure, of course. So all his fans, there he is. So all his fans to all of our Solomon Peters fans. So Solomon, you're up next, and to the Buhari speech to the United Nations that he wants debt forgiveness. Is that something that they should grant him, Solomon?
They should. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, one man.
Good evening.
Yeah, when I saw that headline this morning, I was very, very. Should I use the word? I was ashamed to say this man is my president for real, because how will you come there to say that kind of thing there when the money you even borrowed, you did not use it to develop no infrastructure in the country? Imagine your educational system is down, like it's totally down. Students have been home for close to 8 months now or 7 months.
Let me hold you in that space for a moment, Solomon. Is the picture of Buhari's daughter graduating in the United Kingdom, is that is it making the rounds in Nigeria, and what are people saying about it?
Of course,
his son's
that
wife.
is his son's wife. Is his daughter-in-law.
Right. Yes.
The one that they married, I think this year or last year. This year, I think.
Right.
Yes. Now people are very. In fact, it's going to be one of the things that will, like, I know before this headline came up. A day came up as in the very started protest, like the students. NAS has already started protest before. NAS has started protest before this headline came up, and this thing now is going to instigate them more to stand up and protest against this ASU strike that is going on, because it's not making sense at all. It's not making these people are very selfish. This Buhari is at his age. He's supposed to he should be a father to the nation and not just being this. I don't know what to qualify him with. Like, it's not making sense. Your own son-in-law, your own daughter-in-law now has graduated. Why there are people who are even supposed to have graduated this year, before, like beginning of the year, and they were not able to. They've not been able to graduate. They are still at home. No. This is wicked. Now you still have the guts to come and tell UN. UN should not listen to anything he's saying there. They should not try it at all. They should not. But the painful thing there is just that if he's about stepping down now, in some months' time, he will step down. It is still our economy that will still suffer it.
Solomon, do you know what baffles me? And they have the temerity to snap the picture and still post it to the world.
And posted it online. Like, when I saw that picture, I was like, these people, they really know what they are doing. They don't have conscience. No. You need to go to you need to see the comment section, the kind of comments people were making there. Like, how will you have the guts to post such when you know the current situation going on in the country, a situation that is going on in the country now, like that the students are not going to school, and you have the guts to post this kind of picture. These people they are really wicked, for real. They are really wicked. So UN should not listen to him. There's no reasonable.
Do you think that the Yoruba should send Amotekun after Buhari because they have a special weapon now? Do you want them to send the special weapon? Do you want to see the special weapon of the Amotekun?
Who are the controllers of Amotekun? I don't know the Southwest governors. They are the controllers of Amotekun.
But they have a special weapon now.
I know you are joking.
No, I'm not joking. No, if you see it, then you know that Buhari should run. This is the special weapon. A special weapon of Amotekun.
She's alright.
Should
You're
we send
joking,
that?
one man.
Should we send that after Buhari and his way
When your Yoruba governors are
Eh?
and the Tinubu, they are licking Buhari's feet now for him to hand over to them. They can't do anything. They will not do anything to Buhari. There's nothing they can do. So
all right,
yeah,
but back to Buhari's speech for time. Back to
yeah.
Buhari's
So
speech. Yeah.
they should not listen to Buhari. They should not listen to Buhari at all. They should not listen to him. They should not in any way listen to him. They are very wicked. UN officials, they should still see what Nigeria is going through. There is no single thing this man has done. There is no single thing. They are claiming that he has built the second Niger bridge. Second Niger bridge was Jonathan that started the bridge, or that brought about the plan of building that bridge, constructing that bridge. Buhari is just this 7 years or this 8 years is going to that next step, making it 8 years of him being the president of Nigeria, was just total useless for in terms of economy. In fact, in everything concerning the building of Nigeria and development of Nigeria, those money were he borrowed those money for he and his cabal, he and his cabinet to loot, because there is nothing he did with them. He never did anything in this country, nothing with those money. So they should not listen to him at all. Assuming there is a way, yeah, I can.
Right. All right, brilliant. And to the China man that did away with his girlfriend in Kano State, a young graduate, by the way, serving NYSC. So is this making the news? What's the response of the Nigerian streets to that?
Yeah. This is to show you, it is like the way somebody said here. It's charity begins at home. It is the way you treat charity begins at home. It's not just only in terms of your how well behaved you are, but how you treat your fellow family member or house member, that will still determine how you present your home outside. That will determine how people outside will treat you. This guy, this Chinese guy, he has seen how the Nigerian government doesn't care about their people, and how we in Nigeria here, we're not our brother's keeper in Nigeria. Sorry to say this. So yeah, they know, like, you can do anything you do in Nigeria, you can do away with it. Any crime you commit, you can do away with it. But I like the way the House of Rep, the way they've put their interest in this, taking up their interest in this matter of trying to identify his passport and all that, how he came into Nigeria and all that. And it will be better if we can even be able to detain this guy in Nigeria. But it's quite unfortunate that we will not have that power to do such. But we really need to use this guy to set example. If we are assuming our government we have a reasonable government, to know that you don't just come and treat people bad in their own country. For what?
Is it making the news? Is this story making the news?
Yes, of course. Yes. If you see this news of a thing, once you see them on Instagram and Twitter, you know that news is a very serious news. So the news is everywhere on this both platform, in every blog and every blogger's handle. The news is there.
And people are outraged. People are outraged.
I'm telling you, some people are even saying, because of why this guy has had the fortune to do this, how Nigeria, they still included the economy relationship with China, because of how Nigeria has borrowed from China, all those kind of things. That is why these people this guy had the effrontery to carry out this kind of art. Like, different speculations are just being like they were putting many things into consideration. People were just airing their opinions differently on different aspects.
Now, are people calling for capital punishment for this character?
Of course. It's just that some we see Nigerians will still say, after everything, they know that their government will not still do anything. Our Nigerian government will not really do anything concerning this guy. But people want the government to to set up punishment for this guy. They should deal with him. Should be dealt with.
All right, brilliant. Let me take it to one more space. Social media influencers now are more powerful than global policy makers. So it's still your president speaking to the United Nations, but do you concur with the Malas assertion?
Concerning the social, I'm not going to judge from the president because the president don't even know anything.
No, he doesn't know. But carry
So I'm not going to judge from his own perspective or his own side. I'm going to judge from my own side, like what I've seen. Social media influencers, they are really, in fact, they are one of their social media is just like the oil well now, one of the oil wells in the world. To be honest, these influencers, they make lots of money. They still plus the information they pass out, but just that some of them, okay, influencers are somehow different from bloggers. The influencers, they make money from this, their influencing of it, and they really make heavy money in terms of influencing people's stuffs and goods and even services. They really make money from it. So, but
who is the biggest influencer in? Oh, sorry, land that point. Go on. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, for Buhari's Buhari just want to talk. He's going to talk based on fake news that they are the ones that they spread fake news. Is the negative aspect of it that Buhari will talk about. He's talking about. He's not talking about the positive impact of it. It's the negative one he's talking about.
All right. I was going to ask Solomon, who is by your own reckoning, who is the biggest social media influencer in Nigeria at the moment?
For now, this influencing of a thing. If you talk about this influencing of a thing, just that Wizkid and Davido, they don't influence.
Those are musicians now.
I'm trying to. There's something I'm trying to put into. I want to compare here. Those people, they can as being a musician, you can still take up the job of Steve. There are some of all these musicians too that are still influencers too. But I want to just compare something in it. It's just, okay, let me remove them and just head to the influencers. Influencers, the biggest influencer in Nigeria now, more.
I don't want to use. Is it still Linda Ikeji?
No, I don't really think. This time around. This time around. Daddy Freeze. Yeah, Daddy Freeze is one of them. See, for now, we don't have the biggest because the market is now competitive. To be honest, we don't have the biggest. Even skit makers, makers, they even the kind of money they realize in a month, you'll be shocked. To be honest, so for now, we don't really, but they are all doing well. There is money, like I said, it is.
Daily Momodu, they do well too before you go join presidential race.
That one day, but this ones are the ones where I know say they as in you go they stand with your eye well. See these ones they really make money and they talk like in fact should I say Daddy Freeze because of he's always on live every day. I think Daddy Freeze.
Is there a social media influencer in Nigeria that can move the political space?
Yes, now. Yes, like this Tunde Not.
But he's not show business. Is it not show business?
No, he still talks about politics. But it's just that now so maybe they've advised him because he has reduced his hand and he has reduced the way he posts about politics like that. But I know he's a B2B guy. He only talks about P2B. He always posts about P2B. Like all these the headline, all the news interviews P2B used to have. He used to post about them and he would say Nigerians they should vote wisely. But we know that he's a P2B.
Solomon, can I say something, please? One man, please.
Yeah.
One man. If you see how Daddy Freaks is making money now. He called one program the clash of the of the three juggernauts.
I know. They are always throwing stars. I know.
Oh my goodness. Buying stars. Atiku is leading. Tinubu is leading. Oh my goodness. That guy is very wise.
He's a very wise guy. He's a very wise guy. He first came as somebody supporting P2B. And you know, most people that come on that the freeze life, they are not even people in Nigeria. They are these people outside Nigeria, people in diaspora. So, and most of them, you know, people in diaspora want P2B. Majority of people in diaspora want P2B. So when they were hearing that P2B, normally before they used to come up, but as he started talking of P2B, it even increased. Like the number of followers, the number of people that used to come on his life, they increased. That him now on his own, he now started thinking. He now brought in the idea of this clash of the
Star Wars. They call it Star Wars.
Exactly. He now organized this stuff. Him now, but deep down in Daddy Freeze now, I don't really think he's even supporting P2B like that, because these people,
he hates him. He hates him. He hates P2B.
These P2B followers are really, they've done things that irritated that man, that he said he's not sure he's going to be supporting this guy, but he's standing in between.
Do you think I should start a fight with him? Should I start a fight with Daddy Freeze? Is it?
Daddy Freeze get time where I'm telling you the truth.
I think I could start a fight with him, you know, because
Daddy Freeze, he get time where he go follow you up, and then he has time, like he has lots of time. He will give anyway. You can try it, but in a friendly way. Yeah.
So you know he has a quick temper, that guy. But that's one thing that is easily, you can easily get under his skin.
Yeah. Anyway, it can abuse. I like Daddy Freeze way so much. I like him. But
that's the thing. That's why I can't start it, because I can't abuse to his level. He knows
Daddy Freeze. That is why I said he has time. Somebody like the way he talks to the women that come on his life, I'll be like, this man really, he really have time. You know, this kind of man that he's not even ashamed to say anything.
Solomon, one man, Nigerian too can insult. If you see how they normally insult this guy, so if you insult them back, that is good.
No, I'm not against him.
For that. If you follow him very well, people insult him like no.
Of course,
the insult is too much.
Of course, I go on his live. Then there was a time the way I come here, that is I used to go on that Daddy Freeze, as I used to go and watch his.
When you go there, when you go there, make sure you make mention of the platform, you know, of this platform.
Sure.
Because we need to steal some of his crowd. Yeah.
You know, let me tell you now, people will food Daddy Freeze life now, Obi supporters. So if they come here once and the way they bash Obi for a year now, they go wrong.
You know, I think I'm the most hated man in Igbo land, though. You should have been here when one guy came. He said he wants to fly to London to punch me in the face. Just because I'm talking nonsense online, he wants to. If you hear the rage in his voice, he said, "Tell me your address. I'm coming. I will book ticket now, and I will come and beat you up." He says, "Well, you know, they don't reach that level now. I just a yarn now. Wait till we talk. When they say, you know." Sometimes when I'm out and about, you know, I wonder. I say, I hope I don't get recognized, especially when I go to the African shows. I say, I was recognized once in the parking lot, and somebody came up to me and took a photograph. You know, but he was shouting one man, and I was thinking I was parking, and he was getting into his car, and he was shouting one man. You know, but everything.
Yeah, but somebody like Daddy Freeze, know they fear. They know they fear. You know they can't come again. They can't come for you. They can't. No matter the threats they're true.
These people.
Yeah. Somebody like Daddy Freeze he follows them up like what I don't know who just said something that they insult him. They insult Daddy Freeze a lot, and what he does, he blocks people.
When he has blocked me also, because I used to go and insult him. You know when I knew that guy had a sharp mouth. There was a time he called Pastor Oyedepo a bald-headed fowl, you know. And I just thought, what sort of a mind comes a bald-headed fowl? You know, like a fowl, like in chicken. You know, a bald-headed fowl. I just thought, God, this guy. Now, wow, you know, I don't know.
No,
Maybe
in
it's
terms
the
of
Romanian blood in him. Yeah.
But
sometimes
one man,
he used to say the truth too.
He's
I'm
a
not
con
talking
man,
about
you know, with his
he improved.
what is
He
it called? Is with his nonsense something.
no, he step away
nation, free
from
nation.
insulting
Free
pastors
the
now.
sheeple, free the sheeple. Is
Yeah,
the
he
best friend
Free
with
stopped.
nation.
a best friend with Apostle Suleiman, but is
No, his
you
best
know
friend is Pastor Toby.
and you know, and he's always in Hush Puppy's house insulting people that were against him.
No, he's
The
not
other is
against. Yeah,
just
he just went for. He just went for. See, that guy is somebody that takes
he's
opportunity
a
of,
guy
like, he's trying
man,
to
he's a
make
guy
money.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just went there for, like, I think he's the only person that has interviewed Hush Puppy.
Well,
So that's it.
Hush Puppy flew him to Dubai now, and it was
No, he
you
went.
know.
Okay, maybe yeah. I
Don't worry
think
about that.
yeah.
Hush Puppy flew
But
him to
he
Dubai.
went
Yeah.
there for interview. He went there to interview the guy because I think he's the only person Hush Puppy trusts that period. So that's why he went there to interview him. It's not like it was an opportunity for him to still make money because people got to learn or got to know things about Hush Puppy through Daddy Freeze. So it's not like he's just doing all these things for business. He's not doing it to just feel among. He's doing it for business and at the same time taking other benefits too that is involved in it.
All right, brilliant. All right, brilliant. So it's a short session, as you know. I have an airport run in about 5-6 hours time. So I want to just skip through it. So thank you, Solomon. Your beard is growing. Are you taking to Islam? What is this? What's going on?
It's even small because I'm going to keep something bigger than this.
What are you? You know, I'm always suspicious. If you're not a clean-shaven man, I'm suspicious of you. You know, should I be suspicious of you? But look at you. You should look like Baba Akure, clean cut, fresh face. You know, ready for the ladies. That's how people should look. Yeah.
One man, that is the style in Nigeria now. Growing
no,
beards.
not in Nigeria, not in Nigeria. In everywhere, every guy man now keeps beards.
You know that a beard is a disguise, so that when you shave it off, you can just change your look. So that's why I'm always suspicious of it. But let me go from you, Solomon, for reasons of time. Let me go on to Thomas, who waits patiently. So Thomas, you are up next. So to the conversation, your president talking yam at the United Nations.
One man, thank you for having me and all of us. And salute to the panelists and our listeners. Like, share, and subscribe. Buhari will say what he wants to say. It's now up to the United Nations or anybody that want to grant us loan or debt relief to grant us. But I will first of all ask the Paris Club debt relief that they gave us. What do we get from that? I don't know how they spend the money after Obasanjo left. We should be one man. Who is the president after Obasanjo? I think that's Yaradua. Yaradua.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Yaradua squander it. Maybe he couldn't squander it enough. Good luck, Jonathan. Squandered the rest of the money. So one man, they have tried for us to grant of loan relief, debt relief. So, but if Buhari think they should do it again, it's not up to them. If they want to do it, no problem. They will grant us the loan. They will grant us the debt relief. Then the looting will continue. So, woman, even I am trying to compare the time of Jonathan and now, the most looted administration in Jonathan time and now. I think Jonathan time, the money was looted and it was invested in Nigeria. So that's why Nigeria was happy. Everything was rosy in the Jonathan's time. I think this one now, they are looting the money and they are taking it out of the country. So, but I will not be happy if they grant us the relief. I will not like it because they will still loot the money after granting us the relief. So, and this woman, everybody in the world that keep on borrowing us money, they listen to our news every time, how the money being spent and embezzled. They know, But I don't know why they are still borrowing us. And some people will say Nigeria is still under borrowed. I don't understand that. So I don't know why they still keep borrowing us. China, Switzerland, everyone, they still borrowing us money. Even they know the amount of looting that is going in the country, you can't quantify it. But if they still granting us loan, maybe we don't know the times and condition of that loan. Maybe they have changed it with oil. Maybe we don't know we just heard the borrowed money. We don't know the terms and condition of the money. But if they can grant us the loan, fine. If they can, fine. But I wouldn't like them to grant us because they will still loot the money at the end of the day. I still ask you, the Paris Club, the one they grant us then, what is it? One man, I will still say this every time. Obasanjo is still one of the best presidents we have had. Even some people don't like him, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Yoruba man. The guy tried for Nigeria. They grant us loan. Everything that he did, many things that he done, and Atiku. And Goodluck Jonathan came, squandered everything. Buhari is dead now, squandered everything. So, well, man, that is just my submission. If they want to grant us, fine. If they don't want to grant us, fine. But I wouldn't like it if they grant us.
All right, brilliant. And to this space, the China man taking advantage of the laxity within the Nigerian judicial system. The House of Reps say no, no, no. What says you?
One man, I agree with the House of Rep with what they did. But the only thing I disagree with them is they don't have to go. They are too excessive. Why can a man commit a crime and you are punishing his employer? It doesn't make any sense. His employer doesn't instructed him to go and kill somebody, to go and take somebody down. Sorry for my language. To go and take somebody down. No. Maybe his employer is a China man or Chinese man as well, but they can't do that. The person that commits crime, they should arrest him and do the due process to do that. Maybe extradition to his country to go and serve his time. Maybe he will serve his time in Nigeria. You can't do that. The employer doesn't tell him to go and do that. He did that in his own mental maybe capacity. One man, do you know the crime of the lady that he take down? He said the lady didn't pick up her phone. That is what I read. I don't know how far it's true. So just not picking up her phone, then you just do that to a citizen of a country, and you are not a citizen of that country. And if we go into their country, even though if we don't abide with the rules and regulations in their country, they don't take it lightly with us. They treat us like
even when we abide by rules and regulations, they still treat us like garbage.
Yes. Yeah, they treat us like garbage. I watched some documentary about Nigerian being maltreated in China. If you see how they beat them with stick, beat them up, even the time of COVID, one man, they being discriminated. Even though we know the COVID started from China, as they claim to us, we don't know maybe it's true or false. They discriminate these people. If they are giving the Chinese food relief, they don't give the blacks. And people can't go out and work. And you are giving your citizen food relief. This country, one man, the time of COVID, they gave everybody. They don't know who you are, black or brown or green. At your doorstep, you will just find grocery, food items at your doorstep. If you now even test positive, you are a king. They will be bringing food for you every day, bringing grocery for you every day. They don't care you are black or green or yellow or gray. So if we did the same thing in their country, they will treat us like something else. But they can come to our country and do what they want to do. And I remember Progressive said earlier on that a Chinese man or Lebanese man will walk up to a bank and he will go to the front of he would not follow the queue. can you blame a Chinese man or Lebanese man for that? No, it's still our Nigerians that is aiding and abetting them because of bribe. They want to collect from them. Sometimes they will take them to the back door. People queuing, they will not let them queue. They will give them money in the back door. Sometimes they will just put, I saw many times in Nigeria, those white, they will just, Chinese, they will just put their check on the table and they will go and sit down. And the person will just count the money and go and give them in their seats. And Nigerians will be on the queue, queuing. So you can't blame them. If we don't treat ourselves good, they will treat us as we are treating ourselves. That is my submission, one man.
All right, brilliant. So let me go from you, Thomas, for reason of time. Let me go on to Ajanle Koko. So Ajanle Koko, to the space. But let's start it off with the question that started off with Hakim. That would you still imagine yourself living in Nigeria at some point in life? Ajanle Koko, start with that.
One man, let me say my own too now.
All right. So sorry. Yeah, you
yeah,
address that first. Yeah.
One man, I can still live in Nigeria. Because I have not lived outside Nigeria so that much. I can say less than 10 years. So my mentality is still, I can still live there. Maybe if I live more than maybe 30 years or 40 years or 20 years in outside Nigeria, I can decide not to go to Nigeria. I will cite an example of my father-in-law. He has been in this country for 40 years. He's pure Aussie. So he has been clamoring since the 10 years I've been in this country. He has been saying, I want to go back. Can you imagine, one man, for 10 years, I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. Sometimes he will leave for 2 months. I will stay 2 months. The next month, 3 weeks, he has bought another ticket coming back to Australia. So it's very difficult, one man, if you have lived a long, good years outside of Nigeria, to say you want to go back to Nigeria and live, it will be very difficult. I don't know, Baba Kure, I don't know. He has his own choice, but I don't think so. If I live a long time outside Nigeria, to live back in Nigeria will be very difficult. One man, I'm planning to go Nigeria anytime, so maybe next year or early next year. I'm thinking of, can I drive in Nigeria again? Because
try not to go till March, so that all the elections would have been dusted and anything that wants to
likewise me, I'm not going there until next year May.
Yes.
After.
Oh.
Yeah, after election, I will be going there. I am not going in December. I'm not going in January. Until
I wouldn't recommend anybody to go in
election.
December or January unless you absolutely have to be there. I don't go and why take the risk? Why take the risk? But
one man, it's very crazy. I told you about my father-in-law's ticket that has been cancelled twice now. Now they are selling ticket now $5,005. I told you, I said, must you go? That is too expensive, one man. And he said if he gets to Ghana, he will still buy another ticket.
That's a plot of land in Akure right there.
That doesn't matter. We that we love Nigeria, we still go. Even the ticket is $20,000.
But I understand you. I said, must you go? $5,005. I said, no, you don't have to go. But so if I were to live in Nigeria, I can still live in Nigeria. One man, people are still living in Nigeria. They are okay. Their security take care of, water take care of, everything take care of. That's my submission, one man.
All right, thank you, Thomas. So thank you, Thomas. So on to Ajanle Koko. Ajanle Koko, you have the floor. So kick it off with where Thomas left off. Ajanle Koko, the alpha one of the platform. To you.
Thank you, woman. Greetings to our listeners around the world. Click on the like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Look, one man, don't let us deceive ourselves. People can say whatever they like, whether they want to go or they don't want to go. But two things are very essential in the life of mankind: security and safety. Where there is no security and safety, no human being would like to live here. Reasonable human being would not like to live there. So if security and safety in Nigeria deteriorate further than the way we have it, no, there is no point to say you want to go and live, you want to take a risk, say, because you love your motherland or your fatherland. Is it not the same land that you see here? Are you not under in the same planet called Earth? So what's the big deal? If you look up the sky, is it not the same sky that you see here that you will see over there? Human beings love peace. We want to live where there is peace. Where there's no peace, nobody wants to be there. So that's the situation that a lot of us are confronting with. Safety, it means that, I mean, if you run into an emergency, like say health emergency, you can easily be reached. You can easily be reached and get to hospital and get treatment, and your life will be safe. But that does not exist. You must be extremely rich to have that kind of to enjoy that kind of treatment in Nigeria. Why must human beings be extremely rich before you enjoy life? So, and the security, where your life is not secured, where you cannot move around freely without having people around you, where you can travel to wherever you are, you like, at any time you like. Just as Hakim was describing the other time that at 6 o'clock, they say, brother, go and you can't go out in the night. Or what kind of life is that? So what guarantee your safety and your security there? So who wants to go and live in there? So, and where you will go, and you can't be free to move around your family, to go to wherever, and to stay within your family where you be scared. You don't know. Maybe somebody is already among them, is already planning for you to be kidnapped and stuff like that. Why do you want to stick yourself inside that kind of situation? Look, don't let us deceive ourselves. People can say, Baba Kure say if the ticket is 20,000 or 1 million, if you want to go, you want to go. If you don't have security there, if there's no safety there, you won't want to go there. You will stay where you have peace of mind, and where you can walk around freely without being intimidated or fear of being kidnapped or anything. So it's just that is just a situation. So go and live there. Say as far as I'm concerned, it depends on the condition and the safety of that place. That is just it, And
all right. All right, brilliant, Ajale Koko. So, Ajale Koko, to the politics of it, Buhari's submission that at the United Nations inviting debt forgiveness. So, this is the old language of politics in Nigeria, but are the Westerners still buying it, especially knowing what they know of the Nigerian space?
Does it think that he's speaking to idiots or foolish people like those of them that constitute our leadership in that country? No, they are not stupid. Nigeria has not shown discipline in, they've not shown any discipline at all in their financially, fiscal spending and everything. We have it on record that, one of the most corrupt country in the world is Nigeria. We have it on record that one of the most insecure country in the world is Nigeria. We have it on record that Nigeria is is a place that is not friendly, to do business. It's a country that is not attractive to international investors. So the economy is looking weaker and weaker every day as a result of poor management of resources are not due to economic reality of the world. Yeah, economic reality of the world, that one affect every country of the world. But we have seen we are a country, an oil-producing country that should be making a lot of money now, a lot of revenue now. But hey, this is where we are because of our bad leadership that cannot manage resources well. We happen to be a country that is not making revenue. We are running at loss, while other countries like oil-producing country like us are making huge money this time. You know, Saudi Arabia, just for, the last quarter, Saudi Arabia Aramco declared a profit after tax of maybe 48 billion dollar profit. Nigeria NNPC could not remit money to central bank during the same quarter and for over a year now. And they are looking at us. Nigeria during this time, when Western world are not giving money to a regime that is oppressive against women, against the people, that is anti-progress regime in Afghanistan, Nigeria is donating money to them. This is money that you borrowed, that you should have used for production, but you are giving it out free. That is an act of irresponsibility on the side of our leadership that does not know how to manage resources, but only to borrow and loot that borrowed fund. That is what they do. They are seeing it. They know how much, because most of the time, sometimes rather, maybe they have a consultancy between them and those creditors that will negotiate all these things, get the loan. After getting the loan, these criminals will have this loan shared to their foreign account, some kind of way, before even getting to Nigeria. Some of it already gone into their foreign account before even getting to Nigeria. So they are seeing it. They know where they have their foreign account. They have it all over the world. They know that they are looting all the resources of the state. So how can they continue to give such people that cannot manage resources, continue to give them debt forgiveness? So they have given us one before, like 23 years ago. How many times will they continue to give us? If at all they want to give us now, is it going to come free? You have to negotiate. They will negotiate with you, give you some conditionalities, which could surrender your sovereignty, the sovereignty of your country to them, because you are a country that have shown no discipline in financial management, no discipline in fiscal and monetary management of your resources. So all these things, they have seen it. They will give you some conditionalities that will surrender their sovereignty some kind of way to those foreign countries. And are those the leadership that we should see and rely on as our leaders? These are leaders that will sell everybody off. They don't care because they don't know how to manage anything. All they just after is just to loot. And the world is looking at them, and I don't think that they will give it to them. If they give it to them, it's not going to come free. It will surely come with some conditionality. What are those conditionalities? They will not reveal it to us, but those conditionalities will surely be surrendering, some of our wealth and our resources, and to some extent compromise the sovereignty of the state to the foreign creditors. So, but let's wait and see. Let's see if they will give it, because all the creditors, nations, they are as well going through a very serious economic crisis now. We know what is going on in Europe. European countries right now have inflation, particularly this Britain, where one man lives, is all the inflationary rate is all-time high, maybe 40 years high now. and the cost of energy is maybe has gone up to like 400%. I mean, what are they talking about? Everybody have their own problem. So, but let's wait and see if creditors will give us. But I know one of them, China. China will not give anything free. If they want to give them relief, they will ask for something from that country, and that may be some of our assets. We have to surrender some of our assets to them to get that kind of relief. So that's the way I see it. It's an act of irresponsibility, and it's a shame. It's very shameful that Nigeria, that is seen as giant of Africa, giant of nonsense. They call themselves giant of Africa, begging at international stage, begging like begging for arms and begging for forgiveness, debt forgiveness, and begging for help. We are like they turned the country to a beggar's country. That is this is the worst thing ever that you can see at international stage. When Obasanjo did it in 2019, he presented a very good case before the world, which the world saw and said and look at it and decided that yes, they have to help Nigeria. Nigeria went through a very serious, a very bad military rule that squandered the resources of that country. It was clear, and the annulment of June 12, annulment of June 12 result that contributed to economic woes of the country. So when Obasanjo came in, he presented a situation that, look, if you want democracy, you Western world are the promoter, championer of democracy around the world. If you want democracy to succeed in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole, you have to write off African debt. Obasanjo led other African countries for, relief of, for cancellation of African countries' debt, so that democracy can strive, democracy can develop, and we can have better democratic rule. So on that basis, they saw it that yes, they have to help us, to grow. They have to help us, help democratic rule, to develop in Africa, and that is one of the reasons that they cancel it, because Obasanjo presented it to them that if you all are holding a conference to raise funds for development of Iraq, because as at that time, that was when they kick out, Saddam Hussein out of power. If you are holding conference to raise fund for Iraq for them to have democratic rule, there's no reason why you will not help Africa, those of them that already have democratic rule in place, for them to survive as well. So they presented a very good case, and the Western world saw it that, oh yes, they have to help them. And based on that fact, they concur and wrote off so many countries' debt, South Africa and other countries' debt, all over Africa. So what is Buhari presenting now? What is the basis of his presentation and begging for this forgiveness? I don't know it, but the Western world, they know better. They listen. If they feel that, well, he presented a genuine case to write it for, maybe they might agree with him. If not, well, we see. It's a matter of time. One man.
All right, brilliant. All right, thank you, Ajane Koko. So thank you, Ajane Koko. So we're almost at the 3-hour mark, and I have to, so I shut it down just because of commitments that I have for later. But thank you, gentlemen. It's been a very short session this time around. But before we go, we're still about 6 minutes from 3 hours. So let's take a quick commentary from Ajahn Lekoko on the Chinaman space, but I'll condense the commentary, Ajahn Lekoko, and then I'll shut it down after that.
What did the Chinaman? What did he do?
Well, he has a Nigerian girlfriend who is a youth corper, and apparently, allegedly, because he was calling the girl, and the girl did not pick up the phone, he just went to her house and did away with her life. So so they've now caught him, and so, sorry, yeah, go on, Babakure.
I thought the guy believed that the lady was knuckling him.
What does knuckling mean? You mean cheating? You mean cheating on him?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
That is Caribbean language.
So I mean, but it's just the casualness with which he did it. But now the House of Representatives are taking it on board to one, they are checking if it's actually even legal in the country, and then they've suspended the operations of the company that employs him, and they're now asking that the fullness of law be vested. But a very brief commentary on that space, Ajahn Lekoko.
Well, in the first place, for them to suspend the license of that company he works with, maybe they have discovered some certain things which they don't want to reveal to the public. There must have been might have been a company that is operating some kind of illegal business, and they don't want to reveal that to the world. They want to deal with that behind the scene with their Chinese counterpart. But the guy, why the House of Assembly, Federal House of Assembly, have to deal with this matter, I don't know. I think they should have allowed police and the legal system, to handle it. So what is the basis of them, investigating it? It doesn't. It's not a matter that really concerns the state. This is a criminal matter which the judiciary, police and the judiciary can handle better. So, but I don't know the reason why House of Assembly, they should not go down too low to handle this kind of matter. Yes, we know that what the guy did is very, very bad. He committed a murder, and the judiciary, the police, and the due process of law should be allowed, to handle it. And we know the law in Nigeria is very clear. You commit murder, you will be exterminated. So, and that is purely what they should do to him. Even in China, they don't spare life. For if you embezzle government fund, you are gone. In China, you will be exterminated. Talk less of even taking the life of a fellow human being. So what this guy have done, taking the life of that young girl, that's a girl that have a lot of life ahead of her that would have been meaningful to herself, to the family, and to that country. This guy should not be spared. The full wrath of the law must be effected on him, and there's no any other way to it but to exterminate him and let that serve to any foreigners that come to Nigeria, particularly all these racist people, these people from this country that are racist, coming to Nigeria to treat Nigerians like as if black people are idiots, serve them. I mean, to serve a deterrent to them. So that's my take on that, one man.
All right, brilliant. So thank you, Ajahn Lekoko, and thank you one and all, and especially good to see Babakure back. So thank you, everybody. So we'll leave it there. I'll reconvene later, but here I say peace. Thank you, everyone.